that's so exciting, and it's so amazingly attractive.
Yeah, you're not laughing now, are
you? Well, if you feel like we've gone back to 1984, I've still got my old... It's the laptop camera. So apologies. Someone just told me Rags is streaming. He'll be over the moon with this. Apologies, mate. I haven't done a stream in about a week, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning here, and I forget that it's not 2 o'clock in the morning everywhere, and I just thought I'll do a stream, and here we are. It is called Utopian Idealism Calling Show. Now, I'm sure that you're all champing at the bit. You thought, God, I just wish there was somewhere I could call to get all this utopian idealism off my chest. But it's an interesting area, and I think you'll be surprised, actually, how far it actually travels. Now, you'll have to excuse me a couple of seconds, because I've just forgotten to tell some people. Oh, no, that's all right. Bosh bing. I am rather tired. I've legal issues with the death. Fucking hell, man. You know, how's the grieving going? Yes, all right. It's a lot of paperwork. A donation is wonderful. We're on triple bubble at the moment. I will deal with that very shortly. What I'll do is I'm going to do all the super chats in little bundles after I've spoken for a bit, rather than keep breaking it up, which I've been doing for 6 years. Loads of people have said to me, "Why don't you just do them all rather than interrupting yourself?" So yeah. Now, do you remember I told you some bloke who I knew through the comedy, he might even be watching, some bloke that I knew through the comedy when I was a stand-up comedian. I didn't know him well, but, you know, I liked him. If I saw him in the street, I'd say hello and have a chat. If I saw him in Soho, I'd probably have a cup of tea with him. Speaking of which, I can't name him because, not understandably, but it is his wishes to remain anonymous. Look how much weight I've lost. It's ridiculous. All those lovely muscles I had. I have to get back on those weights. It's that starting though that hurts, doesn't it? Although me tendonitis has gone, so it'll give me an opportunity to get that back. Anyway, he said to me, I'll tell you what, he said, I'd like to make some clips of your streams, you know, like the Dangerfield shorts that I didn't have time to do, so I was doing the Dragon's Den thing instead. I've done a few shorts and they're really good because 3-minute videos get new subscribers, 40-minute videos, hour and a half long videos keep your subscribers happy. That's basic YouTube. Thank you. That's basic YouTube to know that, and I've always ignored it, but it is something I'm going to do. I can see that's you, VC. I'll deal with that in a moment. And thank you, mate, and good to see you. But I've always ignored it, but it would be good to have some more people because we used to, so why not? And so when this lad suggested I'll do some clips for you, I thought, great. I was like, are you sure? He was like, yeah. So we had a little meeting. I showed him how to use the software. I think I even made a little video. And we done a little Skype chat where I said, you know, I don't need the introduction or the outro or the subscribe, just the clip. You know, just find an interesting clip and send it to me. Nothing, you know, if he volunteered, right? Now that was about 4 months ago. Nothing. Nothing. Now here's the weird thing. I predicted that. I predicted it. And not because of him, I have to add. Because I've had this happen so many times. So have friends of mine. My comedian friend Trevor Locke has had this. He's had people say, Trevor, this is one of his it's not a hilarious story, but if you're a comedian and you know the sort of scene, well then I did. You know what? It's funny. He said to him, "I want to make you I want to make you a website." And he had a 3-hour meeting with Trevor about how he was going to build it, and it was going to generate gigs, and there was going to be a little bit where people could book him and a gallery and all that. And not only did he never hear from him again, but the bloke changed his phone numbers and emails so that he couldn't even face the shame. Trevor couldn't even get hold of him to say, "Where are you?" I mean, I think, people have good intentions. Although I have to say, there was a bit. It's very nice to see people in the chat saying, "Good to see you back." It's a real pleasure. I know this is only my second stream, but getting back into things slowly, it's quite difficult. I'm having a hard time on many fronts, not just the obvious, my mum died, but that sort of caused, understandably, I'd expect, other issues. I'm just a bit, and I don't like being, I like things when they're all working out nicely. I like it when life's turning over. Now, Emma G's here, which works in your favour, because Emma G, apart from being a lovely and beautiful woman, is also a signal to remind me that when it's a call-in show, I don't talk for an hour at the beginning and then say we've got 10 minutes left. Anyone want to call in? So I am looking at the clock, and we're approaching 10 minutes. So I'll get this out quickly. I can't. Thank you. I'm still saying thank you. I am thanking you all when you donate, and like I say, it's triple bubble. I've been rinsed of everything. If they can find a reason the things that we're having to pay and the weird additions. How much is it to do a house clearance? Oh, looking at your place, it'll be, I don't know, somewhere between 300 and 800. Yeah, no problem. 1,280. Oh, that went up a bit. Yeah, we had to do some angle grinding. And listen to this. And we couldn't remove the cooker. So you had less work to do, and that cost more. Interesting. I like that business model. I don't know if I said this the other day, but if these solicitors, and it's all portals now, they call them portals, right? If these were businesses, they'd all be over. They don't work. They do not work. You want to just email them and say, the sort of somewhat painful and challenging subject of my mother's recent and sudden death that's dragging me through hell and back. You just want to write that to them and then get on with what you need them to do, that you're paying them $2,500 an hour. $2,500 an hour. And the weird thing is, you don't know when you're using their services or not. Do you know what I mean? You just want to say to them something like, does a birth certificate count as proof of identity? But when they bill you for that email, hello, so blah, 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 blah. I'll add that to the bill. What? Hang on. That was like 10 minutes, but the minimum fee is an hour's work. Wow. So they've got these portals. They're just websites, right? But they've all called them portals. And of course, there's salespeople. When they sat down in the house and we were like, can we do this abroad? Me and my brother, we both live abroad. Like, we would obviously have stayed there if not. No problem. We've done it before. We've done, this is quite standard in the modern kind of digital nomad. They had all the phrases and that. The digital nomad world. Right, okay, right. Of course, as soon as you've landed and you've signed the forms, oh, no, I'm sorry, we can't do that. We're going to need a wet signature, which is... So these portals, these websites. So I sign on, never works. Check out this signing on. So I've got my username. Imagine buying a product like this. I've got a username and I've got a password. So I put my username in, put my password in, then they send me a user code that I've got to put in. then I've got to use an authenticator. Now, I get that that's security, but that's a fallacy. If someone wants in that portal, I spend a lot of time on the dark web, and enough to know you could pay someone 50 quid to get into that solicitor's website. Penetration testing, I had a mate who was a professional digital penetration tester, right? You get red team, like, here we go. Okay. So in penetration testing, which sounds sensual, but unfortunately it isn't. I mean, with the lockpicks and that, I did used to have a business card that said Chris Dangerfield, non-destructive entry expert. Ladies. Didn't say ladies, but it implied it. But it's not sexy in any way. I mean, there's loads, when you say things like, now you have to push it in, you have to apply a bit of tension and push it in and out, okay, but 20 years later, that's not really working for me. But you've got physical penetration testing, which is a job. Imagine that. I know people who do it as a job. So you'll have a building that's got loads of servers and all that sort of stuff and sensitive information, and you hire physical penetration testers who can, I mean, lockpicking is just one of their skills and often not used. I mean, I can get you into a lot of corporate buildings with a vape. Oh, yeah. Because although the door's locked on the outside, there's a motion detector on the inside because of fire regulations. My monitor's going like, it keeps going bright. And are you seeing that? Let me know if you're not, and then it doesn't matter. But so what you can do, you can go up to those doors, and there's a little thin, there's a gap between them. If there's not, just get a straw from McDonald's or any other chain of fast food restaurants. Get a big cloud on the go. And that will create enough movement for that motion detector to open the doors for you. So you can, learn a single pin pick for years and get through that acer abloid disc detainer pick. Lovely, bosh, bosh, bosh. But most of the physical penetration testing is things like that. Another classic of the physical penetration testing is just popping hinges out. I mean, I find this stuff really funny because, you've got millions of pounds worth of servers in there, and the information on them is, imagine you've got 20 million email addresses. You can sell them. You can sell them to people so they can spam you. That's where spam accounts get emails from. I mean, there's other ways, but people like nicking people's email lists. I get people offering me email lists all the time. Would you be interested in like 20,000 locksmith emails? Yeah, I would actually, but using them might put me in prison or get me fined 100 grand. So it's going to be a no this time. But the level of security to get in is absolutely ridiculous. Like I just said, the vape, but the hinges. So they'll have like, I don't know, something like, I don't really need to tell you this. So something, a good lock like, what have we got? The biaxial, the Medico biaxial lock. And then they might have a nice 5-lever, just a decent series of locks, like more two, a pin cylinder, a lever, and a push code, right? That is quite difficult to get in. Even if there's a motion detector, there might be other, underrides to stop that happening at certain times of day when there's no staff in the building, so the motion detector thing won't work. But you can get a little tool and you can make them. It's like a tube with imagine a 6-inch nail in a tube with a spring, and you put it at the bottom of the hinge, and you just go, and it just pops the middle bit out of the hinge. So you do them two, and you don't have to worry about the locks. You open the other side of the door, and other things penetration testers I know have done. never underestimate. I mean, this is nothing about utopian idealism, but it's something I'm thinking about, and it's something I'm thinking about for my new channel. Second link in the description. Short form videos. The first one coming soon. Link in the description. Words and things. Look out for it. But never underestimate the amazing power of a high-vis jacket and a hard hat, right? This is a true story, and this isn't. I'm not actually telling you one story. I'm just telling you one that's happened hundreds of times. Just get two of you, get a hard hat each, put your high-vis on, get a bag with your actual tools that you're going to use to get through doors when you're in the building, and just get someone to let you in. Get a little thing made out of a clip. And if there's no one in there, just start work on the door. If you can't get in non-destructively, just start unscrewing things. There's a travel hook that you can use, mica, you can use a shove it. All different tools of just opening latches. I've been in this game for 2 decades, and I'm telling you, security is a lie. It's been known as security via obscurity. That lock on your front door, yours, the one that you'll probably call a Yale lock because of the famous and the popularity of the Yale brand, chances are I can open all of yours, I reckon about a minute max. That's just the reality. And that little lock that you were told, level 8 security, you've got locks these days where they'll say, we'll give you £3,000 if someone gets into this one. Make sure you read the small print though, because they say things like, not if they do it like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. We only give you that money if they try this one particular technique which doesn't work on this lock. They're no good. They're not fit for purpose. So anyway, if they have, by some weird miracle, because they realize they've got multiple millions of dollars worth of servers and people's private information on file, just put a hard hat on and a high-vis jacket and just get indestructively. If you need to, just get like a thermal lance or something and just smash it. And when someone comes over, like they never do, you just say, hello, yeah, John McDonald sent us. Actually, we're going to have to see him. John, what? Yeah. That works. And I'm telling you it works. I know people who do it for a living. Now, like magicians, there are certain tricks. Like in magic, you force cards. To get the trick to work, I need you to pick a certain card. So there's certain ways of forcing it. And psychological forces are quite tricky. Like there's a psychological force, for instance, where I say, right, I'm going to start counting cards, and I just start putting them down. And I know the 11th, 12th, and 13th card, yeah? So I'm already putting them down, and I'm counting 1, 2, 3. And I say to you, right, I want you to pick a card at random, okay? I'm now on the 6th card. So I want you to say stop anywhere, but don't let me force you. So I'm saying that. Just say it quick. And as soon as you say just say it quick, 9 out of 10 times they'll say stop, which is handy because you're on the 10th card. Now, if they don't, the next card. And if they don't again, when they say stop, the one you've half taken off the pack, that isn't the one you want. So you say, okay, well, and then you just put that back on the pack and say, so that card there was the last one I put down. Okay. So you have outs. And all magicians have them. I've seen there's a Wicked David Blaine video where he tries to do this psychological force and it goes so badly wrong, and then so does his out. And I'm thinking, you're fucked. But because he's a great magician and well practiced, he's got another out. And it's the same with penetration testers. If you get caught, you need if you're going to do that sort of high-vi and the hard hat, I know penetration testers who have used the fact that they're penetration testers to get them in a building. They got caught doing that trick, like just turning up with boxes and bowling in and saying, yeah, we're here to fix the doors on the server room. And this woman's gone, oh, hang on a minute. No. This is like a security. You need security clearance. And they've said, no, you're all right. They've got this clipboard out that they made, the image they made themselves, a few official stamps, a few names that they got off the internet and all that, which are all legitimate, by the way. And she's looking at it and she was like, I'm sorry, really. And they've like, if we don't get this job done tonight, your system is vulnerable. That's all they say this sort of thing to her. That's all I'm telling you. We understand that you're saying we haven't got clearance, but if we don't get this done tonight and we leave, which we will, we're not going to force our way in. How ironic. We'll just leave. But you are then vulnerable until this is sorted, which, that's going to be 3 or 4 days' time. And that will, unfortunately, that will be on you. What's your name, by the way? Right, and really more psychological forcing for physical penetration testers. But when that didn't work, they actually done the best double bluff in the world. They said, well done. They took their hats off, they took their eye-visors off, they got their actual business cards out and said, look, we're blah, 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 we're penetration testers, your boss, give them the real name, asked us to come in and, see if we could get in the building. And you've done a great job. You stopped us at the first hurdle. We tried many, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, yeah, well, blah, blah. And they done a little interview with her. And when she said, okay, and when she went back and sat at their desk, they just walked in. Because she thought that they'd admitted who they were, which they did. But they didn't admit that they were still doing the job. So she let them in because they told them who she was. And someone who wasn't that could do the same thing. It's crazy. I've got mates who've got other people to let them in. Security guards. Let them in sort of like main server rooms. Just sort of say, we're here to cut the new keys. They get out a key cutter, set it all up. Got little things making noises, little things they've made that don't do anything. These things don't do anything. They just make noises and have little like waveforms and things on them. It's a bit like Ghostbusters, the original one, brrr, brrr, brrr. And then the security bloke, so old Escovo and Mahates there. Yeah, if you just give us a key, we'll make you one. How many colleagues have you got? And do you need a spare? And he's like, oh, okay, there's Paul, there's so-and-so. Okay, so, yeah, knocking off copies. Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Just copied the key. Amazing. And then for getting into actual computers, one of my best friends said, most of the time I just find a Post-it note under the desk with all their passwords on it. He said, the movies and novels have told us all that hacking is, quick, typing in hexadecimal or binary code at the speed of light. No, they're closing the spectral room too fast. I've got to get in using a VA9. No, Post-it note under the desk that says Postman 45. Okay, password Postman 45 in. So, yeah. Lord knows why I'm talking about all that, but it's lovely to see 100 people here on this Sunday early evening. I've asked a few people to come on to talk about the easiest way is I talked about it briefly in the last stream I've done, but the should I stay or should I go? I told you I had Barclay and Harry down, and I told them, I said, get out of England. And I never wanted to say that. And as I said to older people who maybe haven't got jobs that they can just fuck off to another country, you've got to start preparing because it's not on its way. A replacement isn't on its way. It's happened. It's happened. I saw it myself. I saw it. And so it's time to make groups. It's time to build communities, whatever they are. It doesn't matter. Just set up a club. It could be anything. It could be penetration testing. And get people to join and see them twice a week. Even if it's Dungeons and Dragons, and make the club bigger and form communities, in real life communities. And because, it's blackpilling stuff, but I think that's where we are. And I've asked a few people on to talk about this. Now, I'm not suggesting that they don't want to talk about it for political reasons or for reputation reasons. I mean, I don't feel great saying it, but I like to be honest. It's easier to, with my memory, it's easier to be honest, because at least I'm not going to trip over myself. But when I saw Harry and Barclay, and they were telling me about their plans and that, I just felt for them. And I thought, as an older man who's got experience of the world and who likes those kids, they're nice blokes. Sorry, I don't mean to say kids, but, when you look at them, they're like 20, they're very young. 20 as young as you like, innit? I know they think they know the word everything, because we all do. When I was 18, I knew everything. It took me about 30 years to realise I knew nothing. And then I started learning. It was quite weird. But I said, I've been talking to Harry today, and I said he's managed to make a bit of money. He's quite clever with the old bitcoins. Well, not even bitcoins, but like dodgy, cheap, quick rug pull crypto stuff. I mean, if you don't know what rug pull crypto is, you're doing all right. Don't worry, you don't need to. But he's made himself a few quid, and he said, "I'm looking at Vietnam actually, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but I think that's the best thing for him." No, I'm not saying leave forever. I'm not saying abandon ship, but have a look around the world. Have a look how other countries run. Have you seen what El Salvador have done? El Salvador, South America. Now, anyone in the chat been to South America? Hello, Otto. Otto, good to see your name change, mate. Otto says that anyone under 30 is a kid to me now. It feels like that, though. Walsh is in, look. I do know. There you go. And I know you do think that as well. I know you'll pretend that you don't really, but you also do really. I've been there. I know how it works. But El Salvador just got out of hand with the gangs, right? It just got absolutely out of hand with the gangs. And I'm just going to find something on Twitter here. It might be a bit tricky to find, but I'll do my best. Hang on. That's the fellow I've got to find. And then I have to go to his replies. El Salvador, anyone been to South America? I was in Venezuela when Carlos Chavez, I know Emma hasn't even said anything, but I just remembered that she's watching, and it's now 30 minutes. I went to Chavez. I went to Venezuela when Chavez was in power there. Hang on, I'm just looking for this. Roses be on this mad Michelle Pfeiffer, this weird Michelle Pfeiffer thing. But I know that if I go through his recent tweets, I'll find this little video somewhere. If this works. Anyway, El Salvador was run by gangs. They took the place over. And the president just said, we're fucked. We're fucked. And I was in Venezuela when Hugo Chavez took over and the communist revolution took place. I was there when it started. Like, not when they took to the streets and said, but when he started giving the money to the poor and getting irrigation and sewage, not sewage. I don't mean like he wasn't throwing shit at them, but getting some kind of basic practical infrastructure into the favelas. I don't think they're called favelas in Venezuela, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I knew it was going to go to shit then. I knew it was. I just thought, how's this going to work though? Because very basic things. We know the mises, you know, the whole regulating value and free markets. I just thought this is going to look lovely for about 5 years, and then as every single other go at this ridiculously, I found it. Yeah, that's lovely. I'll show you that in a minute. Every other attempt at this utopian idea, communism, has cost the country millions of lives. Do you know nearly 2/3 of the world's population have tried communism, have tried that utopian dream, and every time it ends up in famine, starvation, murders, crime. To call it crime is like calling decapitation a cut. It's like it's an apocalypse. That's what happens in communism. It gets to the point where you kill or be killed because no one's got anything left. And the only people who have got anything left have also got the guns. And so, you know, what do? You give out posters saying don't eat dead children, which is what happened in the Ukraine when it was called the Ukraine, because it alienated them, calling them the Ukraine. They changed all that. I can't imagine why. Now it's like Ukraine. Yeah, it's a little scare. Look at him go. Anyway, so El Salvador just got mad out of hand. One of the most dangerous places on the planet. And the president just said, we either let this continue and just become hell on earth, which it already was, or we bring the military in, we round up all these gangs, we lock them all up, and we treat them like the cunts they are. Excuse the C-bomb, I rarely use it, but that's why I rarely use it, because it gives it a bit of gravitas when required. We treat them like the demanding, violent, taking, thieving thugs they are. You've given nothing to society. You get a couple of years as a teenager to be a bit of an arsehole, but you don't get to go around shooting people. You don't get to go around stabbing people. You don't get to go around raping people, terrorizing the streets that other people work hard to pay for. And, you know, when you work hard in El Salvador, you don't get paid a lot of money, and a fair amount gets taxed. And it's, you know, and they've done it. They've done it. Look into it. Go and research it. I'm not saying it's perfect, but most of those gangs are now in very hardcore prisons. And they don't take any shit. It's not like some British prison where they sit around a pool table waiting to fucking crack someone around the head with a few pool balls and stick a pool cue through their head. No, it's like a prison. Weirdly enough, they don't riot because they're not allowed to smoke cigarettes. They don't riot because they haven't got televisions. There's none of that. If you're out of order, well, you get the same treatment back, and you'll probably be crawling on your hands and knees back to your cell. And I'm sorry, but I think there's a bit of natural justice there. You know, unless society works, you know, unless people are doing something productive, if you don't want to do something productive, that's fine. But you don't get anything. You don't get anything back from that society. You get ostracized. You get to go and live over there in a skip and eat your own fingers to, one, stop the frostbite, and two, because you're hungry. But if you give, then you get a bit. That seems to make sense. That's a bit of laissez-faire capitalism. I'm all right with that. I like that about capitalism. I like the way that I want something and I've exchanged some hours for some gold pieces, and I can give them to you because you've got something I want. You want what I've got. Everyone's happy. And I think that until Western Europe starts thinking, I mean, look at France. I haven't got the words to explain it because I haven't seen this before. It's just like it's an invasion. It's been invaded. It's been being invaded for the last 100 or so years, as has the west of Western Europe, but obviously exponentially since the Second World War, because we fucked everything. And they should bring in the troops, round up all those fuckers. Give them a chance. Though I'm not bring back the ball stalls. No, get them in and say, look, you're in a gang. Here's the evidence because you've put it on Facebook every day. You sing songs about murder and rape and all the other crimes you glorify. Okay, well, here's your chance to change, and give them options. And if they don't change, well, they stay working in prisons until they're ready to change. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking about that. You need to do something about this stuff. This is the greatest problem on the planet at the moment, if you ask me. You can talk about other things going on, but if it's not safe in your house, and they've taken the guns away, no one's got guns to protect themselves. I mean, Chicago has got some of the highest gun laws, some of the most hard, to get a gun in Chicago, you've got to jump through, to get one legally, you've got to jump through so many hoops. And yet 20, 30 people a week are getting killed there. Killed. When it gets to the point where you're not safe in your houses, in your house, that's not even the street. That's not even downtown in the street. This is your house. When you're not safe in your house, when it's no longer illegal to, to resist arrest, and the rule of law has just crumbled, you can't sweep that under the carpet. You can't just say, as I've been seeing people saying, these people are hungry. These rioters are hungry. They need bread. You can't eat those. You can't eat trainers, can you? I mean, I suppose if you're really hungry, you could probably get through a couple of pairs of Air Jordans or something. But have a look at this. This is England. This little clip I'm going to show you is England. And I feel like I might come across as some old man here going, look at this. This wasn't England once. And I'll tell you why I feel like I'm coming across like that, because I am. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that is intentional. The likes of Victor Meldrew, the likes of Homer Simpson, have all been part of the demoralization of Western cultures. I despise the Simpsons. I despise Homer Simpson. I despise the idea of just this dumb twat who just can't do anything, can't get anything right, because it all works out nice in the end for him. And it doesn't. That's not how it works when you're a dumb twat. That isn't how it works. That's been part of the demoralization of Western masculinity, alongside the likes of Gillette adverts and other branding, etc., etc. And, the idea of older generations going, look at the kids of today, and people are like, well, and I've said this 5-10 years ago, it was the same when we were young, the older generation thought we were crazy and it was all out of hand for us, but, it's normal for us. No. The reason it worked in the past was because people respected their elders, as they should, because older people know stuff. They know more than the younger people because they've lived more, they've experienced more, they know more. If they've got anything about them at all, they've educated themselves. They've looked at history. They've looked at different sides of stories. And everything's a story, really. and they've learned from that. And in a sane society, now I understand comedy, I get that. I'm not being completely off the grid here, off the intellectual grid. But in a sane society, older people would be respected for that and valued and cared for and looked after, not shipped off to care homes, not filled full of drugs that they don't need. And believe me, they are. I mean, how many people here has got like a parent or a grandparent who takes 10, 20, 30 tablets every day? You know, I remember going to my nan's house when I was a kid, and she'd have like, thank you for all those donations. I will deal with them, I promise you. I'll read them all out. She'd have like 10, 15 like pots of pills. And in the morning, I'd see her popping them all open and putting them all down in her little, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then knocking them all back. 1, 2. I mean, regardless of the contraindications of all of those, like in the BNF, in the British National Formulary, it will tell you the contraindications of, I was going to say narcotics, of medication. So if you take this medication with this one, you'll get constipated, for instance. Now, if this one is to stop migraines and this one is to stop lumbago, then a bit of constipation might be acceptable. But if you're also taking this one and this one and this one and this one, this one, this one, oh, you've worked out the multivariant contraindication web of all of those, have you? And you're fully aware of her diet, yeah, and her genetic makeup, yeah? No, oh no, you didn't do that because you can't. Because medicine is one of the broadest strokes of all things that just sort of, you know, is just slapped over individuals. And it was weird with me for my mother, because when she got to about 40, I saw her on a couple of pills a day. And I thought, oh, that's weird. You know, mum's getting old. She's taking a couple of tablets that are going to be for the rest of her life. Blood thinners, I think. A bit of warfarin. Kill the rats. And then a year later, that had doubled up. And she was on 4 different medications a day. Then a couple of years later, 8. And then it was about 2 years ago, I opened her cupboard, and I swear to you, it looked like a pharmacy. And they were all prescriptions. They're all prescriptions, you know, had a name on it, blah, blah, Dangerfield. 2 to be taken 3 times a day, 2 to be taken 3 times a day, 3 to be taken twice a day, 4 to be taken 1 at night, 1 in the morning, not before food, after food, during food, doing an handstand, mid-yoga. And I thought, look at that, they've done it again. But more. Like the DSM, like the psychiatrist Bible. They invent every new edition. They invent more mental illnesses. They just invent them. And when they say mental illness has trebled, it's trebled over the last 30 years. Well, you have invented more, though. You know, you have invented more, and the people who write that diagnostic and statistical manual of mental illnesses, that's what DSM stands for, they're all involved in Big Pharma. Now, when I say involved, don't think this is some weird rabbit hole. He's connected to him, and he once married her, and she lived next door to him, and he once used to have a drink on a Friday night down the Dog and Duck with a bloke who designed the logo for Pfizer. No, look into this. It's as clear as day. People who worked for big pharmaceutical corporations got together and wrote a book for psychiatrists of mental illnesses and how to diagnose them. And they listed them. And you have to, if you have 5 of these, 15 or 20, or chuck a few more on, we're not selling enough tablets. But yeah, that's how direct it was. There's no 6 stages of separation with the DSM. It was written by drug pushers. That's a fact. And and as they invent more, so there's more mental people. And as you know how I feel about that. I don't believe in mental illness. Anyway, I've gone right off it. I've gone right off it there. But the point being, all that Homer Simpson lark, all that Victor Meldrew stuff, that is why young people are just they've got no time for older people. And that's a real problem. That is a fundamental civilizational issue. Because without essentially parents, without essentially communities and elders, what, you just inventing it again every time? Is that how this is working? You're essentially letting 18-year-old men full of testosterone, full of alienation, full of anger, full of loneliness, run the world. Have a look at this little TikTok video that was uploaded by the people in it because they're proud of this. Have a look at this. Have a look at a little slice of England. Hopefully you'll get audio, but like I say, they've fucked it all about a bit. I think, no, that ain't the one I want. I want that one. No, it won't give me audio with that one. It will give me audio with this one. Right. It's only quick. It's only short. Let me know you've got audio. I'll play a little bit of it, yeah? Did you hear that? Could you hear a little bit of it there? Let me just see if you heard a bit of it there. I know Iron John very well, Zen Patriarch. Well, actually, no, not very well, but I read that on my first degree. Yeah, I think he'd done a good job in an environment that really wasn't. Thank you, Ordo. It's nice to be loved. In an environment that was dominated by feminists. So you could hear that, could you? I take it you could. Okay, so check it out. It's quite hard to make out what they're saying because they can barely speak the language. But have a listen to this. Let me just see if I can get it as loud as possible. I've got to mute myself or you'll get an echo. Here we go.
Viva West, fuck out, viva the whole of London. Bikes will be coming, I'll fly the riders, all the boys take our hand out with a potion. The pagan guns for they was laughing and rap the cool was stomping. Viva West, fuck out, viva the whole of London.
Yeah, apologies that you had to see that more than once. Having watched that a few times, they're talking about something they do to pussies and guns and running London, and yet they do. They actually do, because if you saw when there was that big gang fight kick-off, I'll take a guess that it was in Hackney, they chased the police away. Now, if you're chasing the police away, who runs that area of London? Who's in charge there? I mean, they were just smashing up cars. You know, that car that you're still paying off, that you work 2 jobs for, so that you can take your kids out occasionally. Get the fuck out of that ghetto occasionally. They were just smashing those up for no reason. But what happens when they start coming in your house, which is also happens, you know, and it's increasing. And the more they can get away with it, the more they will get away with it. So I'd advise you to look into the El Salvador situation, because I'll tell you now, give me any one of those blokes on their own. Give me any of them and sit them down. Don't get me wrong, I'm not getting all sociology 1970s, I'll talk them round. No, I wouldn't even bother. But I tell you what, within 10 minutes, I'll get them silent 5 minutes, I'll get them just silent, because they won't know anything. They won't know how to reply because they don't know how to reply. That's all they've got. And I'm blaming them. And I am blaming them. And I'm blaming the leftist society that bred them. And and this is why I'm trying to get someone to come on here and talk about, do I want Harry and Barkley growing up in that? Like, at the moment, they're out of the way. But how long is that going to last? I told you in the last stream, 5 years I've been out of England. And I went back to a completely different place. My hometown isn't what it was. It's completely changed. There was a couple of people stabbed to death, the one in the first week I was there. If that sort of thing in Dartford when I was growing up, and I can think of the one time, there you go, the one time, it was major news for like years. You know, that was an open case for years. And these ones that happened when I was there, they've probably already forgotten about them because, well, A, there's no police. B, the police is a leftist organisation. The Long March is well in there. It's a leftist organisation. They don't want to do anything about it. It's just numbers. Just keep the numbers moving in and we'll keep our jobs. So on that hideous note, but that's why I'm saying, you know, I'm trying to think if I had a child and they were 17 and they said, what do you think I should do, Dad? In all honesty, do I say to them, you know what? I think you should try and make a business in England and, you know, find a woman, make a family. I've got a mate, right? Listen to this. I've got a mate and he's been one of my best mates since I was like 20. And he got together with this bird, lovely bird as well. And she's just inherited about 6 mil, right? 6 mil. And that's not even the parents' money. That's grandparents' money. The parents' money will be substantially more than that. And they've got this lovely big property, Aqueduct. I think I might have mentioned a bit about this. And she's got a bun in the oven. It's all lovely. And he's getting this little small holding together. It's like Utopia, you know. And he said something lovely to me, and I never thought he'd have kids. And he said to me, he said it would be out of order to have an house like this, you know, this gorgeous old sort of Georgian farmhouse, massive place, you know. I haven't been there, you know. I intend to visit maybe if I can avoid public transport at all costs and maybe have an armed bodyguard. Not even joking. It was horrific walking through Soho. It felt like it was hostile and dangerous. You know, I lived there for decades. Loved it. It ain't like that anymore. It was fucking hostile. I'm 6'2" bloke. I wanted to show my missus where I come from. I wanted to show my missus Soho and take her out to some nice restaurants. But unless I get a hotel in central London and take her out during the day, as soon as you've got a bird with you, you are vulnerable. And I just don't, I don't want to do that to her because she doesn't have to live with that out here. Out in third world Cambodia, she doesn't, you know, she walks around town on her own at 2 o'clock in the morning. So what a turnout. Anyway, point being, he's got all this money and I'm glad he has. I'm so happy for him. And she's going to have a baby and, you know, all lovely. But he said that they're looking at having 3 or 4 kids, you know, and it's paradise in this big manor with this aqueduct. They've got a lake. They've got a lake in their grounds. He's got all these, what do they call them? Those, like, I can't remember what they're called. Raised beds. He's done all these raised beds. You know, he's working hard. He's building a chicken coop and all that. They're going to get pigs and things to slaughter. He won't slaughter them, though. Apparently, you've got to get a license. Then you've got to do a course. Then you've got to do this. Then you've got to get refrigeration. So he said, no, you rear them and do all that bit, and then you take them off and get someone else to do that bit, which, okay, great. But, and I'm sorry about the black pill, but sometimes I can't just be here always being optimistic. And in a way, this is optimistic, and you'll see me get there. And I know I'm nearly about to hit an hour. Sorry, Emma. Thank you, Raymond. I will read out all the donations and entropies. Entropies at the top, super chats down the bottom. The grift is much appreciated. I'm being bled dry, as is everyone. I get it. But I'm thinking, okay, so their first kid is going to be 1 next year and 5 in 5 years' time. Now, with what's going on with the World Economic Forum and the UN and all these other globalist organizations that are looking at moving, they're saying 5 million, I think it is, Africans into Western Europe in the next few years. I mean, where are they going to go? Going to go places where they can get an house? Going to go places where they're going to get welfare? New phone? Nice hotel while you're waiting? England, essentially. You know, do you think there'll be an equal spread of these people? Do you think there'll be... Now, the point being, so this glorious paradisic vision that I've got for my friend and raising their kids, what I've seen change in 5 years, I mean, it's got to Dartford. Dartford isn't central London. Dartford's on the M25. Dartford is a ring road that was built because the old ring road, the South Circular and the North Circular, wasn't, you know, it got overcrowded because there's too many people in the country. And in 10 years, where that lovely little bit of Devon they live in, I don't think it's going to be a lovely little bit of Devon. I think it's going to be a lovely little bit of what I just showed you on that video. Because they cannot just keep dropping these people off into London and Birmingham. They will be dropping. Now, we've had people, you know, not in our town, but there'll come a time when they'll just say, no, it is in your town, you're having it. Because they want the cheap labour. They actually want the illegal labour as well. You know, they're quite happy for millions of people to be working and not paying taxes because it still adds value, still produces, it still allows companies and businesses to produce and sell goods, which means they get consumed. It still has a value, an economic value. And they'll be distributing them all around the country. And I'm just thinking, I tell you what, if I was in his position with 6 mil in the bank, I'd sell that house. I'd spend a few weeks on the internet. Then I'd spend a few weeks going around the globe and I'd find somewhere nice to live that has got at least 20 years left. And I'll tell you what, that wouldn't be as easy as you think. That would not be as easy as you think. I mean, even out here, you know, I love it here. And excuse me being slightly distracted, but I want to show you Little Bullet's video. Little Bullet sent me a video. I didn't know it was his video at first, so I was kind of questioning the legitimacy of it. But he made this video, and it's going to blow your mind. Oh, check this out! There's a couple of blokes who are making a new YouTube channel, and they're coming out here. I don't know where. I think from America, to interview me for a few hours. Going to give me a couple of $100 for the privilege as well. I was like, nice. Oh, and I didn't finish telling you earlier, I've got a scrub. He's a regular, but he wants to keep it on the queue. Thank you. He's coming out here. I'm going for a cup of tea with him in a few days. That'll be nice. And someone wants to write a book with me. Now, this person who wants to write a book with me is a bit of a hero of mine. I can't say who it is. It's not Will. It's not Will. But I can't say who it is because he said not to. But when I can say who it is, trust me, you'll be the first to know. Right, hang on, let me find this email. And then I'll be able to find the bullet. Not the bullet. That's ridiculous. Oh, no, how am I going to find this now? My emails are so clogged up at the moment. Yeah, I've got it. Sorry, people, I've got it. Oh, no, that ain't it, I don't think. Yeah, this is it. I think he should get a better thumbnail and a better title. I'm going to have to leave the volume down because it's probably copywritten music. And while you can get away with that on a video, on a live stream, you can't. So we'll have no music. But this is Little Bullet. He's in the chat now, right? He watched one of the videos about old Dylan. I've got to be careful because with the AI now, they're my words are coming up on their. They'll be zooming in on this stream already, knowing that I'm talking about naughty things. But you know Dylan, who got on the can of Bud Light for celebrating a year of being a woman. You know, my mum was a woman for like nearly 80 years, brought up 2 kids, hardly had a pot to piss in, got us both through university when it was worth it. She didn't get put on a can of beer. She got totally ignored by society, and they cut a widow's pension in half because I think they give it to some other people who didn't deserve it. I don't know how it works. But have a look at this. Again, there'll be no audio. But so this is what happened, right? Little Bullet watched one of the videos about Dylan and the Bud Light, right? And then he thought he'd go through the comments, and he started liking some of the comments. And while he was doing it, he noticed something started happening. So he just done a screen, just videoed his screen while he carried on. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I'll make the screen a bit bigger. I'll get rid of my boat. So just watch what happens to the likes. And this gets us back to utopian idealism, because taking away the dislike button, hang on, we do need a bit more on my boat for a minute. Taking away the dislike button, that is the epitome, an epitome, if such a thing, that's a bit of an oxymoron really, but an epitome of utopian idealism. You can't dislike someone's video on YouTube. And as I said on Twitter, the message is clear there. Everything's good. Shut up. You know, you can't, I mean, even us here, we let that one go. We mentioned it. We talked about it. Someone in one of the scrubs changed his name to dislike button, tries to get in early so that people can click it. But that's massive what they've done there. In terms of the psychology of younger people, no, you're not allowed to dislike videos. You know, you might upset someone. I mean, how weak is that? How weak? And as much as we know that, people growing up in this era, they don't know that. They just think that's the norm. And that is Brave New World. It just is. You're not allowed to dislike things. It's out of order. You upset people. Oh, they went to a lot of time to make that video. Yeah, but I don't like what they said. I don't like that approach to life. You know. But yeah, but that's not the point, is it? We do. So you can't dislike it. But it would appear it's gone one step further. Now, I trust Little Bullet because he's been here for a few years. This could be fabricated. I've just got to say that. But I can't. I don't think Little Bullet's got the computer skills to do it. And I'd like to know if anyone in the chat has also experienced this. So here we go. Have a look at this. And he saw it happen live and just recorded it. Like I say, no volume because I'll get done for a copyright. All right, here we go. Okay, so we all know who Anheuser-Busch is. They're like an umbrella company for loads of different products, mainly in the brewing industry. There you go. And this is Little Bullet wrote all this. There you go. Yeah, no, I just have to say that, Bullet. I just have to say it, mate. You know why I have to say that, but I also did say I trust you. Right? So he wanted to like, not the video, but some comments. Right, so the top one there, 17, yeah, clicks it. Right, you see his icon, his cursor. He clicked it and it went down to 1. He had 24 on the second one. Give it a click. 7. It went from 20. What? Oh, this one's got 15. I'll give it a like. 1. Can you see that? I mean, if you're trying to fabricate that, look, 126 likes that comment. Give it a click. 10. Isn't that just absurd? I mean, has anyone else seen that? Has anyone else seen that on YouTube? Look, it's every one of them. 49. Give it a click there. 8. So, and the thing is, of course, hello, Jared. Jared says he's seen it on Twitter. I think someone said that. It might have been you or so. Someone said that in the comments on Twitter. Diane Abbott's doing the sums. But, I mean, not because they're such a big company, they can just say, it was just a glitch. But why is it a glitch on that video? Why is it not a glitch on my video? Why is it not a glitch on, something that would aid a different orthodoxy, perhaps? It's nuts, right? Absolutely nuts. So you've either got to believe that or think that Scrub Little Bullet, who's been here for years, has made that to lie. And I can't see that myself. I mean, that's not evidence, but I have to say that. IRL, mate, I've had notifications that I'd got a like on a comment, and when I go to check it, it's gone. Happens all the time. Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? Absolute nuts. Right, let's get this call on. Let's get some words in. Let's get this call in. Sorry about my image if you turned up late, but I left my camera in England. It's being sent over, so I will be back to pretty much the same quality camera soon, but at least it's a bit closer. I think I can sort out I tried it the other day, didn't I? And I couldn't. It didn't work. Let's see if I can try it again. Hang on. I've got to work this out better. Hang on. What video am I using? General. I know this isn't much fun at all. Why doesn't I work? Where do I get? Fuck it. This is what happened last time, isn't it? I can't work out what camera I'm using. Oh, this might be the one. Oh, hang on. We've got some action. No Logitech camera. Oh yeah, that's what. Hello. All right. Hi. Nice to see you. Right. Hello, Skin. Good to see you. Hello, Emma. I sent you a little naughty email, didn't I? I have to apologise. I'm not having a great time at the moment. I have tried to find her agent. I have tried to get the likes of Joe Guest, and I've tried to get Lucy Pinder on. I've always thought, Mike, that if I could talk to Lucy Pinder's agent or Joe Guest's agent and say, I want to get her on my show, how much for 20 minutes? And if I come back here and said, look, Joe Guest 20 minutes is 400 quid. I'll put up X amount if you can pay the rest. I reckon we'd probably we'd do it. I mean, how amazing would it be to get Joe Guest on and say, do you remember New Year's Eve? By the end of it, I'd just be proposing to her. And it would be hilarious, but I can't do it. I mean, you can't even talk to agents now unless they already know you, which doesn't really work unless, of course, you're trying to maintain the necessary social and economic relations to reproduce to reproduce the same social and political social relations. So it's a self-fulfilling replicant of itself. What you meant to do. Right, let me get a white screen up. Steady. Right, here we go. Where's the invite? There it is. Listen, which I want to get a few different people on. So when I say, all right, it's time to go, it's not because you're boring. It's not because of any other reason, but I want to get a few different people on. So bear that in mind. Here we go. You think so, Mousecat? Yeah, that's what really turned me off her. Yeah, she did. She in the flesh, she did too. Oh, it was wonderful. Right, here we go. There's the link. Hello, Woodlander. Back in a bit. Rags, someone told me you were streaming and I'd already started, and I do apologise, but it's. Hang on.
Now I have to just.
Packer, you came in a bit late there, mate. Hang on. So did you, 42. Plastic African in his best. Jimmy, someone's already in. They were all lined up. Plastic, you done well to get in. How are you, son?
I'm well, man. How are you? You're right. How are you doing?
It's so.
Yeah. You sound a bit down, man. You're normally upbeat, dude.
You know my mother died.
Oh, your mum died. Is that why you came back to England?
Yeah. So
to bury your mum.
Probably why.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, dude, when we lose our mothers, it's like we lose the connection to the world.
Yeah.
It really is. It's harsh.
Yeah.
It never goes away. It gets. Oh my God. It's God.
I lost my father at 16, and that is obviously that side of things, the yin, shall we say. I've probably got them around the wrong way, but this is a totally different experience while being a very similar experience. I had a friend said to me, "You're never too old to be an orphan." When he said it, I didn't really understand it because I was busy with admin, the death admin. The death industry got in touch very quickly. Yeah. But now that's eased off a bit, I totally get what he means, and you've just said the same. But anyway,
it's harsh, man. No, it's all right. I don't mind. You got to get it out, That's half the point. You need to talk about it. You can't hold it back. Sharing these experiences.
I done that on the stream last week. And
did you? Okay, man. I wasn't around for that, man. I've been up and down as well, but you know how it is. I've been enjoying these Twitter spaces. Surprisingly, I find them fucking interesting, and I swear to God, because people let out hate there, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm saying it that's a healthy thing in some respect. For people to actually have something they can hate and how to express it among people. And
Can you explain for people who don't know, because it's an Elon Musk update, almost like it's
a forum.
First update on Twitter since
it's Twitter X. Yeah, so Twitter X will probably rival this space as well. So over time, it's going to do the same thing we're doing here, but on the Twitter sphere. Now, hopefully, he stays the same way regarding, if it's illegal in your country, it's illegal there. So you'd be not allowed to post it. But he hate speech and all that. No, that's an opinion. And that's what you should not fucking police. And that's what the state does. I mean, the status quo, if you will. Let's talk about the cabal, if you will, that goes on here. We had them as gatekeepers of society, but these are no longer gatekeepers. These are some geeks, and the same goes with some of the guys in Silicon Valley and this AI and machine learning. It's going to destroy their livelihood, and they don't even know. They're like, I'm earning 200,000 plus a year. I'm some bigwig. 5 years from now, you're going to be on your ass and no one's going to give a shit about you. Yeah. Because you don't know what's coming. Because, and this is going to take industry by storm. It really is. I know.
My company has, hello, Harry, I've got someone in at the moment. I only have one at a time. So you'll have to wait. My business has changed dramatically in the last, 5 months, 6 months. It's a different beast. We all do different things now because of AI.
Yeah, well, kind of. It's for me, it's not going to.
Oh, really?
For the time being, for me, it's not really doing that. Besides, say, CAD or something like that, when we have to design things, But that's on another side. That's somebody else doing it. I don't bother with that. But I'm a hands-on sort of fella, so that's how it works. So that's not going to get rid of me for a few years yet. I see. Same as the missus, because she's a lawyer and does litigation and trademarks. And that is still there, corporate work as well. They're not going to just go straight to AI because the AI isn't right yet. There's still a lot to learn, and hopefully we're not there with the singularity till many years, maybe 5-10 years.
I would be surprised with something like law, and I'm thinking off the cuff because I haven't had this conversation. With something like law, which is written, you can actually you can actually put that data into a
but you need somebody to review it. You need somebody to go through it, and AIs aren't true and correct. You still have somebody to go through these lists and go, okay, what is it going to be? 2 AI partners, sir?
You do ethically in the world we live at the moment, but as our generation slowly phases out and the kids who've grown up with AI, I don't think that I can foresee within about 5 years things like magistrates' courts. You'll turn up, you'll put your defence on a computer, it'll process it, and you'll get another thing get printed out, and it'll give you its decision and how much you have to pay or whatever.
I mean, the way it's going, okay, if you take away jobs, and then we're still having a boom in population growth. We might be falling down a well here in the West or the Western Foundation. Hence why maybe some of these fuckers think that we should import our workforce, as you said before, instead of actually helping out, the native peoples, understanding it and saying, no, like, what is Hungary? Is it Hungary? That, if you have four children, women don't pay tax anymore.
If you have 4 children, you never pay income tax again.
Exactly. Your earnings.
If you have 2 children, I think there's no interest on your mortgage. It's incentivized basically, and it's been proven to start working. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm jumping around here while we have the time, but you've got to understand, the war that's going on, or the good war. What Russia's in the long haul for this. Ukraine doesn't have the ability, and there's a proxy going on, which is of course a rinse. So it's a big launder. And I've had so many of these conversations with people believing that Russia's losing, and it's like, you have no fucking idea, buddy. They're going to have what they want. They will take that area, and we don't have the stomach for this. We don't. There might be some troops on the ground. You see the latest weapons cache they took out. It was just gargantuan. So they know where these weapons are going, and they know exactly how to target them. We're on the back foot here. There's nothing else we can do, and just wait for it to fall, I guess. They've
got rather a large ideologically aligned military in the background, Russia, haven't they? Ready to help should they be required?
The grunts on the ground first. Let's put it that way. That's why that's easy enough. The Spetsnaz is somewhere else, but of course it's aligned the BRICS closer. So it's aligned China and Russia. It's never been that close, and now it has. So of course, the foreseeable future is how will they take out, or how will they, let's say, amalgamate or annex Taiwan, because that is about to go on. And without, I don't think it's going to be a war. I don't think it will be an engagement, and I don't think they'll leave it in ruins. But if that goes on, the West is in serious shit because of semiconductors. We won't be able to operate. And this will hinder, again, the AI, the machine learning. And I've always said that a lot of this AI is still working on the basis of a binary system, which is computers, they're binary, and zeros and ones, and they're working on a silica-based processing. You get very few of these qubit quantum machines, and then they're very difficult to contain. And they're not easy. They are not easy pieces of equipment yet. And of course, then you have to think about the transfer rate of information that goes to and fro from data centers. So it's still not quite there. 5-10 years maybe, depending. But again, I'll go into another thing that people probably won't know.
Before you go to the other thing, though, the speed of that development is made exponential because of the AI.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, because it's again, it's how it's written. Because these they're not real AIs, you know that. It's machine learning. Let's put it that way. It's not a process like your brain. It isn't there
No,
yet.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I think
so. It's
a
machine learning. It's an algorithm that it's more than less than equal to sort of stuff, and then it just builds on that. So that's
ChatGPT even itself its data set ended in 2021. It's 2 years behind. And that, it's got
4
limits.
or 5 now,
but
aren't we?
if the proletariat have got their hands on that, Lord knows what governments are playing with.
Yeah, of course, but it's again a double-edged sword, because we've got criminals that are going to we'll be able to buy very, very sophisticated pieces of kit, 256 processors with threads and all that, lots of RAM. Back that shit in. Back then, in 20 years ago, that machine was unheard of in your home, and now it's in our home. So that probably scares the establishment or the cabal again, if we're going through that. But it's one of the latest things. One of my friends who is into crypto, he said some of the old wallets were hacked. They were 8-year-old wallets, and they were going through this thinking, well, these the wallets are highly encrypted. So it shows that they've been, there is a quantum machine, probably a qubits, that has been doing this for about that time, 7-6 years, of just churning the numbers, and now it's got into the first of the old wallets, 8-year-old wallets, and it's stolen money. So it means that they're slowly doing it. And same as America. America gave the guy, go and do it. The guy who did, what is that? I can't remember, Larry something. And he's just a patsy here. And of course, America knows what they're doing. They're going to, here, you develop it, then we'll just take it. It depends on where this crazy old man goes, what happens with the orange man bad, if he comes back, and maybe if the Western Foundation, us lot, gather ourselves, because Ireland is having none of it. You know that. None of it is happening in Ireland at the moment. There's this big problems going there because those Catholics don't like what's happening with the other group that's coming in and sort of dominating their streets.
You're talking about ear.
Yeah.
Because I hear conflicting reports. It's the most woke liberal democracy in the West, and then I hear people say no,
the city maybe, that's where these nut jobs live. And again, we can go down to how this has been attained is because they've a lot of. I mean, how did somebody like not just Dylan, because he wants or she wants, they or whatever they are. They want validation, and they want love, and help me. But a lot of these fuck jobs have nothing, and they've got nothing to go with. So they you know what I mean. So they need some sort of attention, and this is a way. Hence why they want to go for the children, because they have to recruit. It's a real sick fucking phase we're in, and most people, believe me, most people see this coming and are going, "I'm having none of this." It just depends on if we can organize ourselves and people realize their power as the majority and actually start doing something about it.
I'm optimistic in that sense. In that sense, but I've been optimistic in the past. I thought, well, if I've got to be careful with the words, so I'm
of course.
But if the abuse of millions of a certain ethnic group were in England didn't do it,
we know.
I thought, when all that blew up, I thought, well, people are going to work it out now.
Yeah, I mean, people don't have the stomach until it's there. Like I've said to you before, people only change when they've got a bloody nose.
And when they can't afford to put petrol in their car, when they can't afford to buy bread. And
15-minute cities are real, man. That shit's happening. They're digging deep now.
No, I know.
And none of us have had that choice. No one's come to me or you or any of the West. Hey, do you want this to happen? It's getting ripped down each time. So they're digging deeper. Trust me, people go there with angle grinders and more than that and take it out. We don't have the enforcement. We do not have, especially in Britain and Europe, they don't have the enforcement. If people really crack, we're all in trouble. If there's a hardcore, resistance, say, you're fucked. And people don't want to see that because of what it means. Because we don't want this. Trust me, people do not want it. They want to talk about heroics and revolutions. It is not a nice thing.
No. It will go on for
Fucking hell, it's a
won't be a couple of years. It'll be a generation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And hopefully that's not the plan anyway, because what do they go up to the hills and hide in the hills, or look after their hard assets, if you will, the infrastructure. But there's only so much you can hold out, because if you start going through it, you're targeting the people that are enforcing it as well, and that's a reality that they have to take too. When you see some of the stuff that's coming out with the AI and some of the criminals and how they're using it and utilizing it, it's fucking clever. It's simple, but it's fucking clever, and people are falling for it every bloody day. What is it? Give me 10 seconds of you on the phone, and I can have your fucking voice. There we go. Then I just get a couple of numbers. Your credentials and data are out there. Yeah. If you don't know what you're doing.
When I ring up one of my bank accounts, my business bank accounts, I have to say, my voice is my password. And then, and I've been doing that for 10 years.
There we go.
But surely they're going to have, that's got to go.
That's got to go. You need special words, and then probably 2 different devices that will go one-to-one. And they're separate devices. You know what I mean? They're separate entities within that have to come together.
Ironically, you might even have to turn up and see someone.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Oi, mate, there's a way I can prove who I am. You remember you met me? And I'll come down. Idiots. All right, that's your time up, mate, just because I want to get as many people on as possible.
No worries. I'll tell you a joke before I go. What's worse than running into a wall with a heart on? It's when you break your nose first.
Oh, it's an oldie but goodie. Nice.
Take it easy, man.
Always a pleasure, mate.
Thanks, mate. Take care, okay? Be safe. Keep it going, eh? Yeah?
Will do.
Mate. Thanks, mate. Bye.
Ta-da. Now, good Lord, how many subjects did he bring up in he knew he had a time limit, and he just went bang, 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 bang. There's loads of people coming up, but I've got Harry first, and so I'm going to have to kick the others. Sorry, Packer. Sorry, Jimmy, but you will get a moment. Both of you will get on, but Harry won that toss. There he is, 42. I'll bring you on in a minute, mate. It's very exciting how many people want to get on. Now we met in real life, didn't we?
We did. It was very, very good.
What I was worried about? So for people who don't know, I told you the other week, when I got back to England, I had a load of old suits and shirts basically that didn't fit me anymore because I had them made in my 30s when I was rich. And I said, also, even if they did fit me, because I've lost a lot of weight and muscle because of the fucking stress and all the misery I've been through. And this bloke isn't. This bloke is ripped to fuck. There ain't an ounce of fat on it. Honestly, it's just solid muscle. Ridiculous. And not like some sort of, creatine exploded water retention. He's smacked.
Universal credit gang. The amount of time you have in universal credit benefits, dossing around, all the money going to Aldi chicken and eggs.
There you go. Right, hang on, Harry. I just want to tell this quickly. So I said to Barclay and Harry, why don't you come down? And if some of these suits cost me like $4,000, and I didn't want to throw them away. And it's too hot out here to wear them anyway. But they both agreed to come down. They both had to travel quite a distance, And as they were coming down, I was sitting at home thinking, hang on a minute. These aren't like your standard black Giorgio Armani suits. So they're a bit natty. And I thought, these two lads are going to turn up and I'm going to go, what about this Prince of Wales number with the double lapel collar? And they're going to be like, whoa. And I'd be that old man going, back in the day, this Teddy suit everyone loved it. And they'd be there going, nah, you're all right. But it turned out all right, didn't it, Harry?
Yeah, no, it's solid. You'll be glad to know that I wore that silver one to my Universal Credit job interview for I showed up. The woman was like, everyone there's dossing around trying to get jobs. And the lady said to me, oh, make sure you show up tomorrow in your finest suit. And I thought to myself, you know what? I think I am going to show up in my finest suit. So I got the full thing out.
No way, you've done the full three-piece.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
People, by the way, when Harry says silver, I just want to I never wore a silver suit. I mean, I'm not, that's Bangladeshi. It's Prince of Wales check with a blue window pane, but through Harry's broken
lenses.
eyes, it probably looks silver.
Yeah. No, it's a lovely
Harry,
suit.
why are you looking up there? It's weird.
Oh, yeah, because the webcam sucks.
So you're looking at yourself, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's all right. You can look at it. No, that's awful. Terrifying. It was like I was being abused by a child. So that, and what people don't realise, honestly, ER people, I'll show you the suit he's talking about. I can actually show you it. Hang on. I can't believe you turned up to the job centre in it. Amazing.
I am, Mel. It's quite funny.
Absolute touch. That suit was about $3,500, and I'll tell you why I like showing the picture of it, because I'm with a page 3 model who I took out on a date that night, so it's always a good one to.
I was just going to say, you were absolutely right about the lady. Shanika in the job centre was basically grooming me.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, you're up next. Yeah,
they love it. I mean, you'll get treated differently. Your people open doors for you. They do all sorts of things. It's bizarre.
Yeah, you feel so good when you're completely decked out and you know you're suaver than everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you make sure you had a tie?
Absolutely.
Good lad. And the button-down shirt, I'll give you a few nice shirts, didn't I? There you go.
Yeah,
That's the one.
Oh.
Look, that is Prince of Wales with a blue window pane. The blue window. Okay, I understand why you called it silver, because mother of pearl buttons there.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, she's a very beautiful lady.
Well, what a weird thing is, we ended up with the one in the background as well later that night.
Really?
That's Gizzy Erskine. Anyway.
Looks like Marge Simpson.
Oi, I tell you what, she's a beautiful lady. She was the one who I ended up with in Thailand. Oh, that's a story, but I probably better not tell it, or she'll be out of a job. But yeah, so you've got, look at it. Look, I was thinking he's going to see those lapels and think absolutely not. And the weird thing is, people, in the back of the jacket, because there's a waistcoat under that, in the back of the jacket, it's got my name written in jewels. It says Dangerfield.
Yeah. What'd you get that done afterwards?
Yeah. I got the people, because I have those. Oh, he's gone. Hang on. What the fuck have I done?
You got rid of me.
I used to get the jacket, waistcoat and trousers made by different people. Just give them the cloth and tell them what, show them the overall design. And the bloke who made the jacket, he said to me, he said, do you want your name in the back in jewels? And I went, obviously. So he went, all right then. Yeah. And he done it. But yeah,
it's nice. It is a nice touch.
Well, there was a funny bit, Harry, there wasn't there? I'll give you both about 6 shirts, handmade nice shirts, and there was one left on the floor and neither of you wanted it. And I was like, why? It's the same as all the others I've given you. And then I noticed it had the old deodorant mark over the arm.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing, actually.
No,
I do think you lost out, though. Barkley got those nice Foster and Son boots.
Yeah, he already had the shoes on, though, so I was kind of like, you already got the shoes. I can't really be like, isn't that up for... You can't be ungrateful with these things. You can't be like, that should be up for grabs too. Like, it was... I was already glad with what I had, so...
Oh, that's fair play, man. I'll tell you what, I am gutted, because obviously one of the things I don't like about Cambodia is not... I mean, I do have a couple of suits here, but it's so hot, unless the place you're going to is near enough so that you're not enduring the heat and humidity. I'll just be, that's why if I had a t-shirt on when I stream, it would be wet by now. And the 3-piece woolen suit, no.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you probably have a heart attack. No.
Dawn Browning, I know I haven't been putting the other people's super chats on the screen, but it is the Field Marshal. She wants to know if you've got a photo in the suit, Harry.
Unfortunately not, but I can
we will get that done at some point. That's got to be in the pipeline, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Barkley sent me a photo of him with just the jacket of that nice green kind of hunting suit I had, my first suit. But he didn't have the trousers on. I think he hasn't got the bottle for the full look. He's got a pair of, I don't know, some nasty chinos or something.
Oh, Barkley, yeah. No, the thing is the shoes as well. Barkley dresses more like that. And I think he fits him better anyway. So, there's no love lost.
Shoes on.
Yeah. He's more of a suave dresser. I'm more
Anyway,
of an American jogger.
I tell you what, man, just give that. Don't keep it. Did you take the black with the red chalk lines as well?
I think I might have done. I think Barkley got that one.
Well, you only got one whistle.
Because I got 3 suits. There's the brown one with the
the brown with the gold pinstripes. But listen, don't save them for best. Even if you're going out to buy, I know they take a bit of time putting on and all that, but wear them and just wear them. I'll tell you what,
they're in a class of their own. Yeah,
that's the words I was looking for. But anyway, that'll be my last thing on suits. Please wear them, because what people do is they keep them for best. Best never comes around, and then they get chucked in the bin in 10 years' time when you get a big fat beer belly. So, Barkley, I got that one. So, how are you, Harry? What's going on? Because I mentioned you earlier about telling you to get the fuck out, and I don't want to say that. Yeah, I don't want to.
The UK's finished. It's not blackpilling to say. It's just pure realism. This country's finished. Look at footage of this country from 40, 50, 60 years ago. Look how the lovely families and communities all are. You look at these areas today. It's just unfortunately not going to return to what it was, in my opinion. So it is sad, but it is the brutal, harsh reality. And
how do you feel saying that when there's people watching who might be in their late 30s with 2 young children and a job and a mortgage? You know, you're saying it's fucked.
You should buy Harry Potter, Obama's Sonic 10 and new ticker Bitcoin to get rich and move your family out.
Right, so hang on. I know you're trying to be funny, and I get that, but it's a fair point now, because what you're actually saying is learn how to get busy with the grifts that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing is, it is sad, but it doesn't look like anything's really going to change for the better. And the government hates us. You know, it's been that way for decades, but it's never been more apparent than now. And you've really got to start looking out for yourself. And you, unfortunately, it's not nice. And of all things, to be motivated by slavery tokens from central banks is not something that really motivates me to want to get up and hustle and grind online. Whereas going to the gym is something that I feel is more productive and I feel better doing. But unfortunately, you do have to get your money right, because if you don't, then you are going to be subject to living in these bad areas, and you are going to be subject to the horrible torments of life when you can just move away. There's nothing that really can be done to stop what's going on. And it is depressing, the thought of it. And a lot of people don't like to wrap their head around it because of the emotionality behind how great this country was and how great it could be and how easy it would be to change. But unfortunately, the people that are in charge and the people that have rigged the rules, they don't want it that way. And unfortunately, they're making it this horrible, horrible place to live. And we can't beat them. It's unfortunate, but I think that the only way you can live a decent life now is either with lots of money in the UK and the countryside. But even then, I mean, you look at the countryside now, which kinds of people are being put there now? It's a real disaster.
That's what I thought about Dartford. You know, it wasn't like that 5 years ago. Yeah. We went past the boys' grammar school and I didn't see a single white person in that school.
Yeah.
When my brother was there, it was the opposite. And look, I don't hate anyone. I don't hate any groups. But what I do hate is social experiments that have already proven themselves not to work being doubled down upon. It's just madness.
Yeah.
But let me put 2 things to you. For people in the chat who think Harry might have sounded a bit lazy then, Harry was actually once a trolley dolly, right? And he told me that. And I laughed at him. I did. And I said, what? You actually was the spaz. Because anyway, all the ones I knew in Dartford, they were that bloke. No, Mrs. Jones, I love a trolley.
Yeah.
And I said to Harry, what, you actually done that? And he said to me, he said, yeah, I just needed some money. So I just got a quick job that I could find and just done it.
Oh, I love that job. It's the best job I ever had.
It quite impressed me, actually.
Thank you.
Do you and Barkley sort of, because Barkley's still out there with the activism and you know, do you and him? What do you and him? I mean, he's not here. He is here. He's in the chat. But what's that like when the pair of you talk? When you're saying, "No, I'm looking at getting out," and he's
it's cool. You know,
activist, isn't
he understands. Yeah, Barkley's just different caliber, different breed. Like Wes, different caliber, different breed, and all my respect to them because they do things that I can't do. And obviously, it's exclusive from me. It's they're different breed, no fear, different caliber, and all respect to them. I just look at things and think, well, say there was 100 people in a group chat of the most dedicated activists, of all the people who had said had enough and dedicate their life, they're not afraid of being doxxed, they're unafraid of absolutely everything. That's 100 people out of a country of 68 million people. I'm not going to put in all that effort myself and give up my life for something which is clearly on a trajectory, an unstoppable trajectory that I can't change. And that's not, again, I'm not trying to sound depressing or depress people in the chat, but I just think that all my talent and my efforts can be placed elsewhere into becoming the UFC featherweight champion of the world, which is going to absolutely happen one day. Yes, I am.
It looks like it's gone past the place of no return. Not forever, but anyone who's thinking there'll be some kind of, like you actually said it could be done very easily. You've only got to implement a couple of laws that we've already got in place. But it's already progressed so far under our noses with no regard. We all know the line. We were never asked about any of this. And with all these plans of moving millions more people to Western Europe, and they're failing nations. And
well, I just think about, you look at, say, for instance, the BUF, and look at how they failed to achieve, and they had huge support, and this is during a time where there were communities and economy. This is another point that a lot of people don't actually make. Economies back in the day actually were based upon tangible goods in the community. You know, Mrs. Jones' bakery, the shoesmiths, the car mechanics, etc. Our human capital has just been ever tertiarized to the point now where the only skills people have are Microsoft Office, sending emails, etc., etc. We don't bake our own bread. We don't grow our own food. We don't build our own cars. People don't have any real skills that we used to have in this country. So what makes people think that nationalist movements 100 years ago, if they didn't succeed and everyone after that failed? Again, I'm not trying to be depressing, and all respect to anyone that's still in the game, still working hard, still trying to change things and make an impact. And smaller victories are still happening, and God bless, and all respect to the people.
And I'd like to be proved wrong. I would love to be proved wrong. But as I've said to the scrubs earlier, when I saw you and Barkley, I just thought I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't say, if I were you, I'd get the fuck out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's sad, but I think that the only way you're ever going to live a good, happy life now, if you're out of the cities, it's a bit different. But this is the thing.
But for how long?
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing is, if they've already done this to the cities and transformed the cities, they're not going to be like, oh well, let's stop at the farmland and let's stop in the green belts, because it's absolutely not going to be like that.
Well, not only that, and this is something Mark always says, it's not necessarily a question even of, well, he doesn't say this, but he says the final part, for every other person, you've got to allocate agricultural land to them. To make food for them, and it's not just their house that they need, their family's house. It's the extra farmland that house requires.
Yeah.
And that is the countryside that just gets slowly eaten up.
Yeah.
And you've got these beautiful little villages, the picture postcard villages, but they're just going to be surrounded in slaughterhouses soon, and multi-level indoor grain farms.
Yeah, and then huge tower blocks everywhere. It's just a disaster what's happened to this country. And it's so sad to see. And again, I'm not trying to be depressing or...
Stop saying that. We got it the first time. But I keep doing it as well, so I should...
Yeah, I know.
Really. also, all those people who've got those skills you were talking about, AI will be doing them next month.
Oh, yeah. Well, the middle
You know.
class is going to be absolutely wiped out through AI. And the thing is, a lot of these people who've banked on the education system, people my age, the university system, give it 5 years' time. We'll see if you still have your job by then, because I don't think you will.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I
Companies
remember
are just
seeing.
cutting it.
I see a documentary once, and this bloke, I can't remember who he was, and he said to this group of students, he's going back about 10 years, he said, what do you want to do when you leave? And it was like, me, I want to be in media, you know, I want to be in IT, or, you know, I want to be in communication media, which fuck knows what that means. What, you want to make telephones or something? And he said, why? And they went, well, that's the future, isn't it? And he was like, well, no, you know, England is like, and at the time it was something like 30% of our industry is steel. And they were all like, what's that? It's metal.
Yeah. So even
all right, Eric, I could talk to you all night, but I'm keeping it slim tonight because
I'm going to the gym now anyway. I'm going to be UFC champ. Watch out. They'll knock your teeth out. Right. Take care, everyone. Take care, Scrubs. Cheers, Chris.
Nice one. Packers in. Look, Harry's off. Packers in.
Bye-bye.
See, oh, look, we've had a crossover. Get that Harry out. Get him out. He's going to beat you up.
What are you doing to my space?
Right, Packers in. Right. Billy, not Niggler. Jimmy from Philly's next because he's been trying to get in. If you're still here, Jim, you can come in next. Picard. You first. I don't know what's happened today. It threw me off kilter not seeing you first.
What, sorry?
Sorry,
No,
hey? You got more to do in your life than sit there with your finger hovering over the enter button, haven't you?
According to the chat, apparently not. No.
No, you're very quiet.
Am I?
I don't
Does that help?
That is just done it. Sorted. There you go. Your microphone's there. Right. And with rags, it's been said before. Hello, Pizzle. Oi, Pizzle, what size shoes are you? Not that I can help you, but I was just thinking I could have given you those Foster and some. I could have given those to you, which is a bit of a shame. All right, Jimmy, I'll put it in again now, mate. No worries. Get a copy and paste of it. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, but let's not run into any more of Picard's time. How are you, son? What do you make of what I was talking to about Harry there and the things I was saying at the beginning? Because you are in that position. You've got a job in the country. You've got a family in the country. You've got a little one in the country. Where are you with it?
I'm not too bad about it at the minute because I'm in a small town in the country and there ain't any fucking hotels.
He lives in a house in the country. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I don't live in a big house. I live in a semi-detached ex-council house.
Which doesn't quite fit that.
No.
I'll try and rewrite it later and do a version for you. So are you... I would imagine, knowing what I know of you, that I would imagine you're not disagreeing with Harry. You just think that you've got a bit of time because
I've got a bit more time. I mean, they're in Skeg, which is half hour one way, and they're in Lincoln, which is half hour the other way.
But not just immigrants. What about what I mean? Do you know what your kids getting taught at school is? Because your missus is there, isn't she? So
yeah, they're not too bad. There ain't been any drag time story hour on out like that. Oh yeah, no, anyway.
Okay. How would you feel about that? How do you feel if he come home and said, "Oh, we had drag queen story hour"? What would you make of that? Serious question.
I would go down there and have a word with him. I go to his parents' evening, and I have a very careful look round the room.
What, before you went in?
No, it's a primary school, so all this shit's up on the wall, isn't it?
Okay, interesting.
I mean, there is a distinct lack of rainbows and bizarre flags.
Because I think it's in America. I don't know about England at the moment, but in America now, in certain states, Democrat states, the school can assist your child in transitioning and puberty blockers and the like without your consent, without parents' consent. What would that be like for you? I mean, it's a ridiculous question, but it is happening. You know, parents are
Yeah.
suddenly finding out that their kid is growing a beard and she shouldn't.
It's not like that around here. I live in a very, very properly conservative area.
Okay.
I mean, I speak to people and they are proper right wing.
What?
99% of the people around here.
Because you go down to the boozer on the regs, don't you? So you've got a group of mates, I imagine, or a couple of mates you bump into down there. Would you describe them as patriots?
Yeah.
When you say conservative, so they're patriots. They believe
Yeah, I mean,
in.
yeah, proper conservative. It's not like that dickheads in power now.
Okay, interesting. I mean,
Another thing I want to bring up about that with schools is I wonder how all that shit's going down in certain areas, like say in Birmingham or Leicester.
Yeah, well, yeah, we had all that.
You know what I mean? I wonder how many drag time story hours they have there.
No, they were protesting, and that it was the old rock and hard place, wasn't it? Well, who was the bird that Carl Benjamin?
Oh, fucking, can't remember. God, she's ugly.
I mean, I think he was wrong with that. I think it was obvious what he said. I mean, language is a little bit more subtle than he was making out. I don't think it was defendable in the way he defended it. I mean, it was just a joke. He should stand with that. Just stand with that. It's a joke. You know, I said I wouldn't. Oh, come on. Okay, wow. That was what was funny about it. But anyway,
saying.
Yeah. There you go. That's the better joke. But she ended up outside of school trying to keep both sides happy. Oh, no, it's fine. No, you don't have to go. You do have to, but you...
Yeah.
And so that's an interesting...
The same's happened in America in a few places where it's heavily that religion.
I mean,
and funny enough, when they turn up at the school council meetings to protest, the police don't chuck them out and their names aren't written down. And they're not, you know, they don't go on a list of potential terrorists.
I mean, it's quite weird. Michael Welbeck, the French enfant terrible of letters, in his book, I can't remember, Submission, weirdly enough, he talks about this in parts, that weirdly Islam is a very right-wing, nationalistic, very conservative, you know, and I've heard in very moody corners of the dark web people talking about how Islam may actually save the West, not in as much as they'll take it over and now it's all lovely, but the influence that they bring in a different way. Actually,
I'm looking forward. I'm hoping I live long enough that if it does go up the shitter and they get control, all them fucking idiots that were inviting them in, they're going to be first against the fucking wall, aren't they?
Historically,
it's mental,
always
isn't it?
been like that.
It's
It's always been like that.
Sign your own death warrant or what?
I mean, can you imagine the imams turning up down the local commie meeting just saying, yeah, you're the people we want in our new society. Hang on, come here, a bit closer. Oh, it smells nice. You need to put your nose right near the end. You'll love it. It's like Parma violets. It's an interesting time. But so you, I mean, because I said to Harriet, I mean, I was getting quite, I mean, it's obviously it doesn't matter now, but I was getting quite worried about my mother when a couple of friends of mine who I've known since we were kids, well, certainly the man and his missus for 30 years, they wanted out. They want out of Dartford. They're saving to get out for that reason, because they don't like the way it's going. And my mother lives just round the corner from them, used to. And that started to get me worried, because I'm thinking, well, you know, if they're wanting out, you know, they don't suffer fools, you know. And I just thought, if they're getting out, and where my mum lives, it's a middle of terrace, right? So you've got alleyways. There's only 2 alleyways for the whole terrace.
Yeah, so you walk through back gardens.
Yeah, the law is it's all the houses on the right of the alleyway. And my mother was the legal secretary, not the legal secretary in the legal secretary sense. She was the secretary for the lawyer. You know, it's not the same thing as a legal secretary, weirdly enough. But she wrote up the plans for it, because I had a falling out with one of the neighbours once, and it was quite funny. But I was standing next to my mum. I said to him, "I'm going to drop you where you stand in a minute, you dozy cunt." And my mum went, "Can you not talk like that, please, in front of me?" And me and my mum started rowing in front of this bloke. And then he went. "Anyway, how do you know all this? What, did you write these legal documents?" And my mum went, "Yes." But because he built a fence, which meant we couldn't get to our back garden. Like my motorbike, I can't take that through the house. What, a KX80 dribbling oil and God knows what, riding it through. Like it wouldn't have even fit, you know. Anyway, so that got done. He ended up having to cut his fence down and put a gate in it. He made it difficult. You had to reach over the top and like dislocate his shoulder to get to the bolt, but you could still do it. But I was talking to my mother, this was like a couple of years ago, and she said, "Well, you can't get out there now." And I said, "Well, you can. That's law, Mum. You know that." She said, "Yeah, but..." And then she was struggling with her people of, you know, she didn't know what to say. I said, "Say what you want. The idea is, Mum, that they want you to get it wrong. Don't feel bad." And it hurt me because her face, she looked confused and didn't want to upset anyone. And I was like, for fuck's sake. She said, "They've bricked it up." And I know that no one on that street, well, there's actually one family who would have done. Yeah, well, but they all went to prison. But there's no one there that will go up there and say, "You've got to take that down, or I'm going to take a sledgehammer to it." I just know they won't. And how strange is that in, 50 years of living there, it's a guest to our nation who's bricked up the right of way and does not give a shit. Doesn't give a shit. And I was getting worried about her.
Yeah, because they know they can get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you challenge him, you're racist.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
It's too risky, isn't it?
It's got utterly ridiculous. That soppy bird on BBC at the coronation complaining that the royal family was too white. I mean, it's mental.
It's
mental. Go to any other country in the world and do that.
Yeah.
Go to Africa and complain their royal family's too brown.
Yeah. Barking mad. And the way it's been dealt with, the way that even the mainstream media have tried to defend her, it's like
they think everybody's too scared.
Yeah.
But
and the weird thing is, you'd imagine that even a mainstream media, I mean, pick any of them apart from the BBC, and you think, well, hang on, surely they must see the tides turning. And if they were to just say one day, that's a ridiculous thing to say in a country that is still miraculously majority white, and when it's regarding a family, and they might, as a business decision, everyone might be like, holy fuck, yeah, this is the channel we watch now. Do you know what I mean? Look at Tucker Carlson. He's like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Fox have just struck him down, and he's now more powerful than they could ever have thought. He had more tweets in like an hour than CNN had views in a year or something ridiculous. It was mad.
He got on Twitter, didn't he? He got 100 million views for his first video. He was only getting, I don't know, 70 million or something.
Well, I think CNN are getting 70,000 now, prime time. 70,000? Yeah. That ain't even a small YouTube channel.
No, well, that's the sort of thing you got to take heart at, is that because they're part of the problem. They're not media. They're propaganda. They all are.
They're activists.
And the fact that people are switching off in their droves is heartening.
Is it enough, though? Is it? It's not enough, actually. Let's just say that it's not enough. But I've been bitten too many times after the whole gangs scandal. That didn't get people to do anything.
Yeah.
There's estimates that is, we only know the ones that we know about, and with any crime, You know, oh, we've arrested 20,000 drug dealers. All right, well, I can tell you now, there's another 500,000 still working. So, you know, it's logical that it's like that with most crimes. You've only got the ones you've caught.
Yeah, it always struck me as odd that they found him in every single city, more or less, in the country, except London. Well, you must not be fucking looking then, must you?
That, I've never thought of it like that.
You're telling me there ain't one in Croydon? There ain't one in the East End?
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
silly.
Well, yeah.
That'd be silly.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? All right. Anything you want to say? What do you make of the
a go-kart?
You done it. You've got
Yeah.
him on the way.
Yeah. Fucking cost me, well, it didn't cost me, £1,500.
I bet he's over the moon, isn't he? I bet he's over the moon.
He gets about as excited as I do, Chris. So I could slap him.
He was just like, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Is he? I bet he's on it all the time, cleaning up his big ends and you know.
No, he got on it, had a run round, a couple of hours. then you know how fast 10-year-old boys move.
Right, I don't actually, which I'm glad to say.
He don't move fast, and you have to, because it's a two-stroke. You have to start it, get in it, and go. If it's idling for 2 minutes, it will flood, and when it's flooded, it's fucked.
Yeah,
and he flooded it.
Okay. So
anyway, so I'm going to get any other suggestions, but I was going to just put height on it somewhere.
Yeah, get a height on it, sponsor it.
Yeah. Might be a
but so hang on. So did you expect that response from him? He's not.
Yeah, no, he's like me.
Okay. And when you see that,
exactly.
Are you quite proud? You think
that's like me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't think of it like that.
Oh, you just did, you lying bastard.
Well, I did just then. Yeah, no.
Well, that counts as never.
Right?
We nearly got through a whole conversation about me pulling you out on some unnecessary linguistic slip up. I wouldn't let you have it though, would we? What do you make of all the AI stuff, Packer? Have you got involved at all? Have you had a play with ChatGPT?
No, and it's not going to. It doesn't threaten me yet.
It does, not at all at the moment. But you haven't been tempted to have a go. Has your missus played with it? Sorry.
No.
That's the best one. You were too drunk. Not tempted in any way to have a go at that ChatGPT?
Not really. I had to go on it when you give us the link and whatnot, and I got it to write a story about a recovering drug addict that went to Thailand and fell in love. It was shit.
Weirdly enough, it was Cambodia, and it was pretty good. But yeah. Oh, that's right. Didn't we do it one night live or something?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there you go. Good Lord. Well, as I was telling Plastic African, my customer service team now, they write their answer and then they go to ChatGPT and say, rewrite this customer service message, but better. It's literally that.
Yeah.
And it rewrites it, but better. And because they say customer service message, it then trawls the 500 billion customer service messages that have been, pushed into it, finds all the ones that were successful, makes its little algorithms. And as someone who's been working in customer service as an e-commerce entrepreneur, they're fucking great. It's revolutionized it. And what you've got to remember with customer service and e-commerce, they're your point of contact. It costs 7 times as much to get a new customer as it does to keep one you've already got. So in terms of marketing, branding, search engine optimization, all those things you have to pay for to get someone to come to your site, and then pay people or my time usually writing product copy. If you've got a customer who's got a complaint and you're going to lose them, losing them is going to cost you, to replace them 7 times as much as keeping them. So having something like ChatGPT turn a negative situation into a positive situation because it knows how to do it is that it's just next level insanity. And I've seen it work. That's just standard procedure now for us.
Hmm.
Very strange.
I don't think I'd be impressed if I was complaining to the company and I cottoned on that I was talking to an AI.
Yeah, but you would. But you wouldn't. Well, hang on a minute. No. You're not. You're not. That's a different thing because you. I mean, in about a year, you won't be able to tell the difference. But that
Fair
isn't
enough.
that isn't what we do. If you heard, they write the answer and then just get ChatGPT to improve it grammatically, punctuation, rhythm, meter, and just sometimes simple things like introducing themselves by name and at the
But
bottom.
it has got to be better than talking to some doofus in India who can't actually do anything.
Yeah,
It's got to be better than that.
yeah. I've had that all weekend. Weirdly, trying to get something sorted out for some bank account. Oh, I tell you what, Paco, I watched loads of those Indian call center scam YouTube channels.
I like them. Sometimes he gets into the cameras, doesn't he? Finds out their real name.
Yeah, well, he got scammed though. That fella got his YouTube channel stolen. What's his name? So yeah, someone in the chat will know. And
Talk about the one who puts on the voices sometimes.
Oh no, he's the absolute legend of it. No, you're talking about people who know in the chat. You're the one who does the old lady and all that. Kit Boga. There you go. It's a duck. Kit Boga. No, but Jim Browning, who's the one who hacks into the CCTV, and Barkley and Johnny Redpill seed I've just seen. I'm sure some other people said that. Thank you. Jim Browning, who's like the actual hacker who's got them on CCTV and he shuts all their phone systems down. Yeah, he got them, like some scammer got hold of him and said that they need his information for his YouTube channel, and they got all his details off him and they just nicked it and deleted all his content. And
Can you still hear me, Chris?
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Well, my laptop died, so I'm going to go.
All right, well, that's
looking at a blank screen.
See you later. Ta-da.
Bye.
It's nice not to have to kick him out. Come on, Jimmy. Now's your moment. Come on, Jim. Yeah, look. No, Barkley, I promised it to Jimmy. He's got a minute to get in because I can't be doing it. No, 42. I promised it to Jimmy. I have, but he's not here. Here he is. Here he is. James?
What's up?
Fucking hell.
Jesus Christ.
You're getting angry there. I saw you.
Fucking killing me.
Yeah, I know. How have you been?
And not such a great shape, but
why?
Yeah, that's just I have an abusive boss and I have an abusive roommate. It's that simple.
Roommate, right? You mean literally in the same room?
No,
housemate. Okay. Jimmy, have you ever thought of getting that tooth filled in like a
I don't even give a fuck anymore. I really don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm 60 years old. What the fuck? I got nothing. But see, I'm trying to.
You don't seem in a good way.
I'm trying to mute. See, I'm showing you live on my show.
Right. Hello.
And it's fucking driving me nuts.
Why? Tell me what's happening. I might be able to
listen. I want to tell you a story, right? So I used to do comedy like you, right? My grand finale was when I fought this turkey, right? It's a true story, right? So there's this place called the Schuylkill Valley Nature Center.
Hang on.
Remember
that
song, Don't Worry, Be Happy?
Can you hear me?
What's this?
Right, the question before you start is, how long is this story going to be?
Let me shut these motherfucking headphones to fuck off.
Wow.
Hold on.
And relax.
Shut these headphones off.
Right. Can you hear me?
I got the headphones off.
All right, wait.
I think it's better.
Well, yeah, just wait. Well, it's better. Can you hear me though?
Yes.
Right, how long is this story going to be?
3 minutes.
Fucking hell. Okay. Take it away.
Okay, all right. So I'm hearing you again. Jesus Christ. All right, but anyway, so we cut this one guy's house. We call him the gay guy because he's gay. I don't know what to say. So he warns us that there's a territorial turkey attacking children and people. So my boss would assign one person to gather the turkey with a weed whacker. It was always me because there's guys on the walk behind the turkey would try to attack them. So one day we're down 2 men. So I'm like, I got this, right? So I get on the riding mower and I jockey the turkey in the L-shaped driveway. He's zigging, I'm zagging. I'm keeping him in there. I turn the blades on. I'm shooting gravel at him. I'm fucking with this turkey, right? I'm going to load the mower on the trailer. I see something coming at me like a bullet. I'm like, what the fuck? This fucking thing is coming right at me. I start running. The kid in front of me can't get past the steering wheel quick enough, and I'm trapped. This fucking turkey is like 10 feet away. I start running, right? I got my earmuffs on. I stop. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm running from a turkey. I'm from Philadelphia. Fuck that. Stop. And let him get about 5 feet and hit him in the chest. He just shrugs it off and keeps coming. I'm like, fuck. I start running, right? And I don't know why. I start taking my shirt off, right? And I get about 30 yards and I'm swinging and he's trying to beat me. He's coming in on the back swing. He's fucking. Then I start trying to kick him. And he's got a head like this. And he's going. He's like the fucking Bruce Lee of turkeys. I'm like, what? And then he's looking at me with these black beady eyes. And he's got like these spurs on his leg. He's like, you no good motherfucker. And I'm yelling at my crew, yo, little help. They're like, all right, cross, uppercut. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm scared to death. He's wearing me down, right? So finally, my last ounce of energy, I came at him and turned tail and ran. I never know how to end that funny, but that actually
happened. I am still a bit confused, but it's like a cockfighting tale, but one of you was not.
Well, the turkey would attack people. It was territorial.
That's the bit I liked. Explain a territorial turkey.
Well, look, the turkey decided that this guy's house was fucking his. It's a nature preserve. And he was a big motherfucker. He was 25, 30 pounds.
What's that in kilos?
And he was attacking small children.
Like
you know, so he would tell us, watch out for the turkey. But we were down a couple guys. So I jockeyed him into his L-shaped driveway. He had no escape. But I turned the blades on. I'm shooting gravel and I'm fucking him. He's fucking furious. You know what I mean? As soon as I loaded that mower up, he was on me like a cheap suit. You know, he wanted me.
Didn't you say you had a weed whacker?
What's that now?
Didn't you say you had a weed whacker?
No. I used to follow him with a weed whacker, right? Every time, right? Because we had enough guys. But we're down 2 men. If you're on a riding machine, you're okay. If you're walking, he can come from behind and get you. So I said, listen, fellas, I got this. And I used the rider, and I let them cut the lawn. The other 2 guys cut it. You usually have 5 guys there, you know? So I just said, fuck it, I got this. Fucking trucker pissed me the fuck off. Because when you would drive up, he would do like a snake with his head.
Yeah, like the cobras.
For being aggressive, you know? Yeah, I'm like, fuck you. And there's still a guy in the crew today that saw that. He said, Jimmy, if you had that video, you'd be a millionaire.
There you go, the viral turkey fight video. Good Lord. James from Philadelphia, why aren't you in a good way?
What's that now?
Why aren't you in a good way? Because these people in your house.
Because my roommate, he's abusive, man. He's just verbally abusive. I don't fucking like him. I don't like him, man. I don't like the way he talks down to me, talks to me like I'm a clown.
Is there no solutions there? Is there nothing?
My boy, okay, here's my boss. I said, how about them 6 people killed by that tranny the other day? You know what he said to me? Thoughts and prayers. I backed my fist up, dude. I was going to hit him. I went up to him, and I said, you know what? I'm an agent, and so are you. People say that because they're trying to be kind. I said, the only way to get rid of gun violence is melt down every gun in the world. And that's never going to fucking happen, you liberal cunt. You fucking cunt. You already fucked with my First Amendment right, and then you're going to fuck with my right to defend myself. Fuck you, some fucking lunatic tranny.
You're going to do... I don't want a heart attack on the stream, James, especially not yours.
I was wearing my Trump shirt the other day from Mark Dice that says, won it. And it got Trump for president. He's like, no political shirts, Jim. I'm like, you've been working in a Republican country club for 45 years. I get a standing ovation if I walked in there with this shirt. And I'm working that neighborhood. People are coming out great shirt, you know. No political shirts, Jim. Fuck you.
That is a bit weird because I imagine, you know what, if someone come in wearing a Bud Light shirt, I imagine.
I'm wearing this one tomorrow. How about that?
He reckons he's standing. He reckons he's standing, doesn't he, for 2024? I mean, even just saying standing's a bit of a joke. That Biden character. Oh, someone in the Otto just said, anyone remembers Strutter? Otto, I do remember Strutter, and I know why you've said it as well. James, our time is up, my friend. It's 4:30 in the morning. I've got to go to bed. How are you getting on with the booze and the fucking NO2 and all that?
It's kind of hard that I'm hearing echoes and shit. And
all right. Ping me an email. We'll see if we can sort out why that's happening, because that's no good for you.
Yeah. It's just I got to get away from this motherfucker. My boss I can deal with, but living with this dude, it's completely insane, man.
No, you need somewhere to call home that when you go into and close the door, that you can relax, because that ain't on.
My plan was to call up and make you laugh. I hope I did.
Well, you sort of did, but the rocking forward and the absolute prang, I'm a bit concerned. But, you know. Look after yourself, Jim. Take care. Thanks for coming
All right, man.
Ta-da. There you go. James from Philadelphia. I love him, but his life, I feel for him. He looked a bit pranged there, didn't he? And I don't want him to be pranged. When he first showed up on the circuit, you know, this YouTube lark, I remember him in that little room, and it's been like a bit of a journey for Jimmy, hasn't it? Because I remember when, 42, I'm going to bring you on, but only to tell you that I'm not bringing anyone else on. 42, where I'm not bringing anyone else on. But me and you are streaming part 2 of the men's rights thing.
Okay. No worries, chum.
Unless you had anything in particular you wanted to say quickly.
I can probably do this in about 2 minutes.
Go on then. Go on.
The problem in England is you no longer have anything that binds you together as a nation. Yep. And watching the reaction to the coronation, and even people on our side saying, not my king, is a major problem, because you may not like the current king that you've got, but you do like the street parties, right? You do like you do like all the community stuff that comes along with that, and without a basic liking for being British, being English, and the institutions that comes with that, that's never coming back.
You know, I think that off the back of the power of the death of Lady Diana, I think they started working on this with Camilla. Let's demonize the fuck out of that woman. Let's take the piss out of her. Let's not like her. And then when it comes to Charlie being king, it's already something unpleasant to the English people.
I think it goes back further than that.
Okay.
I think they seen what happened in the 77 Jubilee and they shit themselves.
It
and
was fucking brilliant. Yeah, good point.
They seen people in communities right across the country, England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and they were like, these fuckers could band together. And this is something that they can band together on, and let's bring it down.
Yeah. My old estate was just roads closed, big tables going all the way down the middle of the street, everyone doing games, eating together. There was the adults having a piss up in the evening. Yeah, really powerful. And we've had footage of those on this channel countless times, and everyone watches them and everyone just sees something, and you feel it, and you feel its disappearance. Yeah, it's a good.
Right round the corner from me, they closed off not the side streets, they closed off the main road. They brought in a carnival. There was that chair thing that pushes up and down and round. There was cups and saucers. There was roundabouts. There was all sorts of performing acts on a stage from 1 in the afternoon to 10 at night. You
running around with a balaclava?
No. I was running around eating hamburgers, and the hamburgers were actually quite good.
Well,
but
there you go.
You know,
well, listen, no chance. I think no chance in the chat says having a dislike or indifference to the monarchy doesn't mean you don't like being English. I don't think that's 42's point. I think the thing is, it's such a big symbol of something that did unite us, as he said then, like the 77 Jubilee, that you take those things away from people. And regardless of whether you like or dislike the monarchy, it's something that does. It's like a point of focus.
Well,
I mean, I'm not. Go on.
If you're not going to do it for the monarchy, when was the last time you seen a street party for St. George's Day?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think most of the people in my street done 1977 for the monarchy. That wasn't really the point, but it did cause them to all get together and all the other streets.
It's the excuse to be able to come together as a community. Exactly. And that's what's been lost. People bemoan the loss of community, but they also bemoan the institutions that will give them the community.
I've said exactly the same about the football. I've said exactly the same. If you're fighting a culture war, you don't give over territory just because you don't like. England invented football, and you're just going to give that away, are you? Well, if it's a culture war, you fight it. You don't just say, "All right, you can have football. I'm not watching it anymore. It's got too many Africans. They don't make any sense."
I've just remembered something.
Yeah, but you've already had a Northern Irish 2 minutes. Go on.
Right.
You do talk very slowly, though. So
there was a conversation on this channel quite a while ago about what the Scottish national anthem was and what the Welsh national anthem was.
Right.
I done a dive into that last week, and the official national anthem of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland is "All God Save the King," but the Scottish and Welsh started putting "Land of Our Fathers" and the Flower Scotland as the anthem for their football teams, but not their official anthem, in the late 70s, early 80s, and have used that to divide the nation.
Yeah, that makes sense. There you go. All right. Well, look, it's quite a big subject for 2 minutes, so I'm not going to respond to that. But listen, give me a couple of weeks, 42. You obviously aware I'm not quite on the ball at the moment, but we'll do part 2 of that thing, because we didn't actually get to the men's rights movement, which I think is a good sign, because it was a great stream. Look after yourself. Look after
Yes,
Mrs. I'll talk to you soon.
And yourself. Look after yourself and yours, and no pressure, no panic. We'll do it whenever.
I cannot wait. It was brilliant last time. I'm sure there'll be more of it. And I'm with you, Pizzle. I think she's great. I think she's elegant and royal, and I really liked her. Yeah. That other bitch can, yeah. 42, take care, mate. Ta-da.
All right, bye.
Right, people, as promised, I will deal with the entropies and super chats right now. Oh, that's nice of Entropy to have crashed. It says start streaming. What? Oh, that's terrible news. Hang on, let me see if I can. The one time that I say I will leave the super chats till the end, Entropy has taken a dip. And I haven't even got the camera. Oh, hang on. No, they've all gone. Oh, no, they're back. They're back, but I don't know how. No, I've got one Entropy. Sorry, people. I've got one Entropy from Daffy Davis saying good based stream, but I've got a funny feeling that was about 10 minutes ago. If you donated on Entropy today, what I'll have to do, I'll have to go back when I finish the stream. It won't be tonight. I'm going to bed in a minute. It's now 4:30 in the morning. Lovely. Another great night's sleep. That dementia's going to kick in very early for me. What I can do is get into Entropy and get the messages out. So I'll show them on the next stream when they're completely out of context and mean nothing. So hopefully there wasn't too many Entropies. You won't hear me say that too often, I can assure you. But I can do the super chats, and I will do that. Hang on. Right, here we go. I think, oh, hang on, I've just learned how to do it. I've just learned how to get them all up. I just I clicked my mouse because I'm old and starving and hungry and fucked. My finger, this is no word of a lie. My finger just done like a little old man sort of, like pre-Parkinson's. This is no word of a lie. I wish I had my normal camera because I'd be able to take it off the top of my screen and show you. And I've just worked out how to get all my super chats in a line, starred, so I can just read them all out. Usually I'm sitting there on my wheel on my mouse going, I feel like a proper YouTuber at last. Here we go, look. Neil Benjamin Skies, good to have you back, Chris. Nice one, Neil. Hoyt to that. VC, welcome back. Thank you, mate. Hans, will you be okay-ish? No, you will be okay. Yeah, nice one, man. Appreciate it. I'll be all right. It just, because of all the admin in England, I didn't, I was told my mum was dead, and the next thing I was doing was fucking booking flights. Now, that's my fault because I don't live there. But when all the solicitors and fucking all the other death industry people turned up on my doorstep every 5 minutes and their poxy websites don't work, it was all in the background until I landed in Cambodia and just went, shit. And so it's been a bit of a weird one. But, they're the concessions you make when you live abroad. It's not all roses. But thank you, Hans. Not Jimmy from Philly with his turkey story. Hey, Chris, I'm streaming your show on mine. You just popped up 10 minutes before my show. Looking to cheer you up. I'm having a tough time too. I saw that, James. Always a pleasure to see you. Ping me an email if you want to talk, just let me know what's going on. If it's drugs or alcohol related, though, we'll have a chat when you're not on drugs or alcohol, because that's pointless, as you know. But I'm always here to chat to you, mate. You know that. Thank you for that donation. There's the Bullet who showed us his video with... I'm blown away by that. Clicking likes and watching the numbers go down by 20. Are you joking, YouTube? No, you're Utopian Idealists, and it's just terrifying. There you go. Not a boss. Nice to see you, Hoyt. All great one. Thank you, Bullet, and thank you for that video. 42. Emma G says, this is Australia. There you go. It's Australia. We got there in the end, though. We did get there. But Emma, how weird was it when I said, Emma, it's always good to see Emma. Reminds me not to talk for an hour and then rush through a load of people. What happened? I talked for an hour and rushed through a load of people. But I think people are getting used to it. You know, it's been a few years now. Nice one, 42. There she is, lady herself. Not yet 42. The time it gets read out, I will have. Okay, there you go. I get it. Thank you, Emma. Ugg the second. Nice to see you, mate. Thanks for the 2 bond. RP. Hi, buddy. Jimmy from Philly is looking for an invite on your phone in. We got that sorted in the end. Nice one, RP. Misses me in it. Did you get the message off your other half that I sent in? Vart. Nice to see you back, our friend. It's lovely. It's only the second stream I've done since I've been back. Don't forget, people, I've got a new channel. It's the second link in the description. It's called Words and Things. It's going to be short form videos, 4 or 5 minutes. You won't see my boat. It will be over voiceovers, but little 4 or 5 minute ones, pretty much about anything. That's why it's called Words and Things. But like little language paradoxes, little interesting bits. I've got a Darren Brown one racked up for my first one. So sub to that. A lot of you already are, because it was going to be a stories channel a couple of years ago, but I just thought, well, I'd do that here. So why do I need a separate channel? So it's under my Substack. I'm a writer. Oi, I know I mentioned it earlier, but a hero of mine has asked me if I want to write a book with him. And he's published many books because he's an expert in his field. And he said that the editor and publisher of one of his books will probably work with us on this new one. I've said yes straight away. I can't tell you who it is. There's a chance that a few of you will guess. It's not Will. It's not Will Self. But he's still helping me with the other novel. But my editor, who done the off to rehab, I spoke to him, clear as a day. And he said, if you wanna get back on the job to finish editing your novel, I'm in. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, because AI hasn't been working. The bird on Fiverr told me to fuck off, and she said she'd rather die than help me get that novel published. Bill has dropped an entropy in. What did you do? How did you delete the previous messages? I didn't, Bill. I didn't. When I went to entropy to read them all out, they were gone. It had reset itself. Bill, I wouldn't do that deliberately. But I can dig them out. But I'm so sorry, because you do use entropy, and I appreciate that, because it's a better platform. I know those boys at Entropy. I had a little chat with them the other day. I threatened one of them with my karate moves, actually, and he done what I told him to. Oh yeah. But sorry, Bill, there's nothing I can do about it. Sometimes these things happen. I do apologise, but I will dig them out, and I'll probably get them on the lifeboat, and I'll show them on the next stream. Okay, that's the best I can do. But thank you, Bill, for that one. That's on Entropy. Okay, back to these ones. I can't believe I worked this one out. Dawny B, Field Marshal. Thank you for that, Dawn. One young lad I know just gave up studying languages, including Russian, at uni after 2 years. Thanks, AI. Yeah, I can understand why, because unless you're studying languages for a love of languages, which is I can understand that. My brother can speak 6 or 7 languages and write them, including Russian and Chinese, which is quite the thing. But if you're studying languages to be an interpreter or a translator, there's no work for you anymore. No, there just ain't. So I can understand that. If he done it, if it was a vocational thing, yeah, go and learn how to put fucking plumbing in or something. Nice one, Dawn. AI Robot 3. What Irish nationalists doing right? Think cone. That's so abstract to me, and probably more on my ignorance than your super chat. But thanks for it anyway. Maybe Arklow or 42 can chip in there. I don't know what you mean. Oh, actually, hang on. When you say cone, are you talking about Thingy Bob? No white guilt. That's cone, isn't it? Have I got it right? Did I score a point? Dawn Brown is coming with another one. Did Harry take a photo in the suit? No, but he said he would, and I'll push him. I'll talk to him on Telegram and get him to. I'll get the pair of them to get. So there's some lovely whistles. I'll get the pair of them to get some pictures, and I'll show them on the next stream. Good call, actually, Dawn. That'd be nice. Good to see you, Alan. Hope you're still here, mate. Nice one out. Appreciato. You probably missed it, but I've decided to do the super chats later because obviously it allows the tangential, unfollowable jibber jabber that comes out of my mouth to be more complicated and I can't even think of the word. I'm not on form, people. Nice one, Picard. No comment. And finally, Matt D. Happy to see the island of sanity return. Glad to see you back in form after such a tough time, Chris. Not quite there, Matt, but that's very kind of you. Appreciate the encouragement. I hope you're doing well as well, Matt. Oh, another last minute. Misses me in it. Lady Godiva. Currently counting out threepenny bits. Tons of them. They were my dad's. So here is your share. I'll tell you what, weirdly, when we were doing my emptying my mother's house, or just we were going through all the sentimental stuff because we didn't want the house clearance people to go through them. We found a load of £20. We found a load of £20 notes, and I said, "Oh, I'll change them at the bank. Only like 5 or something, but that's still a oneer." And someone who was helping us went, "They're not legal tender anymore because all the English money's plastic now. It's like this weird. I mean, this is nothing to you lot because you live there, most of you, but it's like this sort of indestructible plastic, and these were paper. So no one wanted them, and I thought, I don't know about that. So I've got on the internet. Can I cash in out of tender notes? Yeah, take them to your post office. Went down the post office, £100. Of course, I immediately got back and shared them with everyone. Thank you, Mrs. Meanin, for my share of threepenny bits. You do realise that's tits. Are you counting boobs? We've all done it, especially on Terminator. Bill says this, the niggler over on Entropy says, entropy is better. Free speech, good guys, and a better cut to the talent. True. One of my questions was about Albino Billy, and now the odd person calls me a robot now. Bill, I haven't been in the Scrubs lifeboats, so that's just French to me. I don't know what Albino Bill is about, and I don't know what are people suggesting your AI, the first AI niggler, Pratt GPT. Let's go. I don't know what that's about. You're a lovely lad, Bill. Come on, we wouldn't do without you over here. Right, now, if I press that and auto star super chats. Oh, I thought I had another one, but apparently not. Okay, it must have been Bill's one. Did anyone? Oh no, Mrs. Me in it was counting her tits. There you go. All right, give us a second, people. I promised myself, I said, just do an hour. I'm shattered, I'm exhausted, I've got loads to do tomorrow. Just do an hour, just a quick hour, say hello, keep in touch. Don't forget to sign up for my new short form video, Words and Things. It's the second link in the channel under Substack that you should also obviously be subscribed to. Thank you to everyone who is. I got about 800 reads in the month, in the 3 weeks I was away. So that isn't Scrubs, which is very nice. I tell you what, for anyone who is doing any writing, Substack's SEO is incredible. If you go to a like Google or DuckDuckGo or a search engine and type in Chris Dangerfield stories or anything, Chris Dangerfield hunting, it's the top one. Substack is got their meta tagging, their keywords absolutely rocking, which is amazing. Ravers, what's a Substack? We still on that one? It's a writing platform. I've got one. It's free. I don't know how much longer it's going to be free, though. Things are getting a bit tricky. Over on Entropy, Bill said, Pratt GPT, lol. Remember the replica bot stream? I do, Bill. I sent you 2 entropies earlier, which would make this all make sense. I'm so sorry, Bill. There's no way of me seeing them now. I can't. I have to log out of Entropy, it will all go wrong. But I will have a look. I promise you. Of course I will have a look. It's lovely to see you. Right, people. Thanks to everyone for being lovely and wonderful. Bless you all. Thanks to everyone who donated. Without the donations, there's no streams. That's just the reality of life and my time. And most of all, thanks to all of you for coming back here and joining in and all the other stuff. And thanks to everyone who came on the show for a chat, because that takes some balls. And it was, as usual, thoroughly interesting and exciting. I will be back on form and a bit bigger. So I start eating and lifting weights again. I feel like a proper flop. Do you remember how big I was? Look at that. What's happened? Mousecat drops a late lady. I heard Twitter had stopped links to Substack. Elon Musk sees Substack as a competitor, which I think is good for Substack, because if it isn't a competitor, why would he say that? On Substack now, they've got this thing called Substack Notes, where you can just leave one line and all your people can see it. Like I put on there, sorry, no short this month. My mother's died. So you can also now do video, and people are putting interviews. I mean, my Substack is so basic. You got to people who know what they're doing. It looks like an old newspaper front page. You know, there's a photo here and an article here, and it's like, oh, whereas mine is like Spectrum Basic. Beginners all system instruction code. There you go. Thank you, Mousecat. Appreciate it. I don't know about that. I'm going to go and have a check on that in a minute, but that is very interesting. Sorry I didn't get a lot of LOs in today. I just haven't got the head to spin the plates I usually do. Anyway, here's a bit of Bally G, and I'll see you in a couple of days when I do another stream at a more normal time. I don't know, when did I used to do it? 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that. And a massive apologies to Rags for stream cucking him. That wasn't intentional, obviously. Here's the music. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. I will be putting your messages on the screen as the music plays. Look after yourselves, people. It's always an absolute pleasure. Ta-ta, ta-ta. Play the music, Funky Paul. Yeah. See you later, MSF. Ta-da!
Everyone knows I'm gonna be the first man down. All my friends are sick of having me around. Nobody wants to give a buddy one last break. Can't go on, I've taken all a man can take. Life is a curse, it only gets worse, and the world don't watch you drown. Maybe my mind will fail to ever find the point. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna make my grave.
Yes, it is King Corona.
Underneath the wave. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna lay my head on the riverbed. Looking back, I rejected every place I stayed. A woman says I'm lying in the bed I've made. She says warriors don't give up before the war begins. So I get high to justify the mess I'm in. People get mad and people get sad, but at least they have a cause. Struggle to feel emotion I can really trust. I'm going deep, deep down underwater.
See you later, MSF.
Gonna make my grave.
BBC.
Underneath the waves. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna lay my head on the riverbed.
Wow, I'm gonna have to have a look into that. Nice one, Mouse Cat. Appreciate it, but a bit shit. I think I've got it in my bio. Mike, just Bill, just Google. Hang on, where is it? Mike, just Google Chris Dangerfield comedian and you'll find it.
I'm going deep, deep down underwater.
Well, there you go. It might have been that, Bill.
Underneath the wave. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna lay my head on the riverbed.
I forgot to thank the
I'm
moms.
going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna make my grave underneath the wave. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna lay my head on the riverbed.
And there you have it, people. The end of another glorious House of Scrubs session. Look after yourself, people. I'll see you soon. Now go on, piss off down your own end, or you'll get a clip around the ear.